we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Some Spaced Out Radio. Look at this beautiful crowd around you tonight as we got Dirty Fylth drawing some art as we speak. Grantavius, Thin Lizzy, Science Bob. We'll have more people coming on in. It's my annual birthday show. For those who don't know, I hit the big 49 this year. 50 will be the Vegas party next year because, well, that's just the place to do it. And that's where I want to do it. So I love my team, and my team is just one of the greatest group of people that I have ever brought upon the SOR land. And we've had some good people in the past, but we got great people here. We really do. And we also have a great audience. So I got new lighting tonight. I am working with new lighting. Okay, so it's a little bit better than last night. It's still not where I want it to be, but we'll get there. Let's get to roll call. Hey, in the gold medal position, we have Awesome Man B. We have Dogface Boy Simon in Australia with the silver. Jeffrey DeRuin down in Texas takes home the bronze. Race Fan, Davey Crotch Kick, how you guys doing? And Palmer. Hey, it's Gong Show. Gong Show will be signing autographs after the show. Line up to the left of the studio if you don't mind. To the left of the studio. Tim, a.k.a. Anonymous Rex. How you doing, buddy? Mama Susan, Susan B., Grantavius, Black Dog, or Big Dog. Thank you so much, man, for not only being in Vegas, but for kicking off the Super Chat tonight. Very much appreciate you. You got to come back next year. You definitely need to come back and hang with us. Erismana, how you doing? The gorgeous Pinzer Flactum. Grand Paul Holland in Australia. The gorgeous Margie O. How are you? Thanks for joining us. D. Cohen, nice to have you back. Dennis Zuniga, good to see you. The lovely Nikki is here. Yeah, she'll be signing autographs after the show as well. Line up to the right of the studio. To the right of the studio. Stunning Samantha. Gorgeous Jeanette Sanchez. SJ. The lovely Diesel Girl. John Hinoyosa. North Alabama Cryptid. How y'all doing? The gorgeous Cosmic Floor. The Wheat Queen herself, Manitoba Becky, looking beautiful tonight. And we continue on with roll call. There's the gorgeous Sonia's News. And who else do we have here? The lovely Kathleen Hughes has returned. Corbanian, how you doing, man? Mark Longoria, nice to see you. Wes H. The Lip Blade. Mr. Lurks-a-Lot. Ozzy Rob and his Ham Hawks. How are you? How's tomorrow looking? Please give me some advice if I am alive tomorrow, since you're in the future. My Chess. Human Carl's here. Not to be mixed up with the alien Carl. No, this is Human Carl, a wonderful veteran that we love our veterans around here. We love Human Carl. And Black Dragon, another great veteran who listens to this show. We love our veterans around here. The gorgeous Dirt Road. How are you? Oh, God, there he is. Yeah, it's little Marky Spender. Hi, Baxter. Hi, Baxter. I know Baxter's looking at his phone. Baxter's the Boston Terrier. And I know little Terra Spender's here as well. And, yeah, look at this. This is my friend here. This is my friend. What an asshole. We were going to sing Happy Birthday, but we figured at your age you would fall asleep halfway through the song. That's my best friend. Scary Gary, nice to have you here. I hope your beard makes an appearance later on in the show. Mr. Great Owl, nice to see you. Lisa Compton, welcome to SOR Chat. And look at this crap from Mark again. On behalf of our local fire department, thank you for not lighting all the candles on your cake tonight. What a jerk. Absolute jerk. That's my best friend right there. Gorgeous Science Melinda, Dutch Hank, D Worm, nice to have you here. Obi Flett, thank you so much for coming on in. Typical Watch, Awesome Man Palmer, and Zach M, welcome. Luscious Jules, good to see you. The gorgeous and talented Kira, Enzo, Moon Freedom, Ufologist, how are you? Thank you for coming on in. And who else is here? We're going to run out of time. Definitely going to run out of time. Where did my mouse go? Let's get the radio sign going because we need that. 30 seconds. Bigfoot, Michigan Rob. Nice to have you here. And who else is here? Let's see here. I'm scrolling on down. Ozzy, oi, oi to you. And we're definitely going to run out of time here. That's okay. It's because you guys love us. We love you. Doug Shelby is here. The Doug Shelby. We can officially start this show. And with that call, my friends, you know what to do. Get your horns up. Let's rock. Of Central British Columbia to you listening around the world. This, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on Odyssey Radio, TalkStream Live, and KPNL. All of our archives are free. Join us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Navy the favor, hit that subscribe button. You can follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot, reading Shirky Poo's Newswire, and checking out our swag as well. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. We got a great show for you tonight, as we don't know where it's going to go. Normally, I have a focus. What are we talking about? Well, tonight it's a birthday show. Yes, I turned 49 years old, and every birthday party, I figured, you know what? There's no place I would rather be than be surrounded by people on the radio. And that's a true story. I love my family, love my friends, but there is something extremely special about being able to broadcast to all of you each and every night. And that is what we are going to do, as we are going to bring in Science Bob. We got Grantavius. We got Thin Lizzy. Dirty Fylth is drawing a beautiful piece of art as we speak. And we are going to have more people coming through as we keep on going tonight. Now, hour 3, we still have the Swamp Dweller. We're still going to have a spooky story from Super Duke at World Bigfoot Radio, because he promised me one for my birthday. And we're going to take questions from all of you. Now, this is an Ask Dave Anything. What that actually means, I don't know. But what I do know is you guys have questions, we're going to answer them. And the panel here in front of you on our YouTube channel and all around you on radio, they're going to grill me for some Spaced Out Radio questions as well. So let's kick off the birthday show here with Science Bob, Thin Lizzy, Dirty Fylth, and Grantavius. Dirty Fylth, we're going to start off with you tonight. What are you drawing there, my friend?
Mothman and Sasquatch and a California Nightcrawler sharing pizza with you on your name day, because it's the day you got your name.
It is true. Cool. It is true.
Chicago deep dish. Because that's why Mothman hangs out in Chicago, because he probably likes deep dish pizza. Or the Blackhawks.
Well, I agree. Who wants to kick off the first question tonight? Oh, Grant, I see your mustache. Get this one. All right, Grant Baker from After Hours. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, man. How you doing? And happy birthday to you, my good-looking man.
Thank you. It was nice to celebrate with the start of it with you last night. And here we go. What do you got for me?
What is the craziest conspiracy theory that you believe in?
Oh, damn it. That's hitting right. I haven't talked conspiracy theory in a long, long time. I do have one. Okay. I do have one. And that is, I believe that there are aliens running around Area 51. I really believe that. That whole video of EBE or EBIN or J-Rod, whatever you want to call them, that looks so real to me. It does. It looks real to me. And I think that the U.S. government, especially, has had contact with extraterrestrials since Roswell, and that there have been side deals cut, and that there have been so many different other things happen over time that I truly believe that it's about aliens. I really do believe that aliens are here, they are with us, and they have the ability to manipulate and bring in what they want the government to do and say at their time. That is what I believe. That is what I'm going with. That is my number one conspiracy right now. So
All right.
that's a good start for it. That is a very good start for it. So thank you so much for that big question. I'm feeling it. My boxing fists are up. Who's next? Who's next? Give me another one.
Okay, Dave. Pizza gods come down from pizza heavens, and they offer you one type of pizza, whatever flavor you want, toppings and crust and whatnot. What are you getting?
I'm going with my standard. My standard pizza is this. I like thin crust, pepperoni, green peppers, mushrooms, onions, and olives.
Nice.
That's it.
Like what I get, except I don't put green peppers on it.
You're not a green peppers fan?
I only like hot green peppers.
Me too.
Well, you guys are like weird.
What are you talking about? Anything that's hot, I love it.
The weirdos,
Exactly.
mister.
I even put habanero on mine.
Oh, I love habanero. Habanero has a great taste. Oh,
The best.
so
I have
awesome.
scorpion peppers.
Oh,
I like scorpion peppers, but I like it on Mexican food. And to be honest with you, if you get what's that stuff they spray? Pepper spray.
Mhm.
Get one of those little bottles of pepper spray and just one spritz on your food. Oh, it's
I'm okay.
amazing. Oh no, it's super good.
Yeah, you can eat pepper spray. Just, ladies and gentlemen, you can eat pepper spray. It's about 9 million Scoville units, 9 million to 14 million Scoville units, but it is edible. It truly is edible.
well, if you eat that stuff a lot, Carl won't even insert the probe because it'll melt it.
Wow. We're going with anal probing right off the bat in the first half an hour.
Yes. So my question is, how deep did Carl probe?
Carl,
That's 6 inches, right?
you guys are absolutely cruel. Absolutely cruel. Number one, I've never been victimized by extraterrestrials. All right. They teased me a little, Bob. I'm not going to lie. They called me a dirty Dave. And they called me, they tweaked my nipples a little bit. No, they did not. Okay. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. All right. But, I know that's what you want to hear, Bobbert. I know that's where you want to go with that. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. No, when Carl came to the window, and that was on April 20th, 2015, he's only been back that once, man. Only been back that once. And I don't know where he is, what he's doing, or what have you. But, as I hold back a sneeze.
Well, it was
your
on 420, so maybe you have to leave something out 420 Eve.
Yeah, like a little plate of cookies or something for Saturday. But look, the thing I want to remind our listeners is you have all of your archive on for nothing. It's open, and you can go back and look at that show and see Dave's reaction.
I want to see that one.
Well, it's not on video. It is
No,
only
but you can detect it.
yeah.
No,
And
but I want to see that
Oh yeah,
episode.
voice stressors go up. Yeah, you can detect it.
Yeah, you can read body language.
See, at first when it happened, okay, so to give the lowdown to people who've never heard this story before, when Carl arrived, okay, we were about 17 minutes into the show, and I had always had this thing where I always turn my outside lights on. I don't up. It's weird because I don't up here, where I live now. But back then, in my subdivision where I lived, I always had my outside lights on. And it was the third night in a row that I had forgotten to turn my outdoor lights on. And so my little makeshift studio was a little bedroom beside my front door. And I saw something move out of the corner of my eye at the window. And I thought, oh my gosh, I got friends coming over. They've forgotten that I have this podcast radio show now. And it's something that, the dogs are going to come to the door. They're going to be barking. I had a Chihuahua Dachshund named Zero who, a crosswind, man, was like 30 minutes of barking. And I thought, okay, just take it easy. Just continue on. My guest that night was talking about Buddha of all topics. And a few minutes later, I realized there was no barking happening. I'm like, well, I've seen someone walk up. So who is here? So my guest starts talking again. I put my microphone on mute. I turn and swivel my chair. And that's where I saw the big black eyes. And then I saw all of a sudden the gray head come into focus and the bone lines of the cheeks, like the eyes were around bones, and a very thin mouth. But at the time, I didn't know if it was actually in the room with me or on the outside of the glass. And so if you hear me, I'm trying to play real skeptical. I don't know if I'm seeing a reflection off the glass or this thing is standing outside, but there is a man. I called it a man standing there because I didn't know what to do, what to say. I've never seen an alien within 6 feet of me before like that, but his head was massive. I knew I was looking into the eyes of a gray. Totally knew. Right. And it was just absolutely freaky at that time. So I did what any man would do. I screamed. Right. I then got a hold of Mrs. SOR and I said, I texted her, alien at the window, get in here now. Because she's into all this woo stuff and smudging. She comes in, races in. Her hands are red hot. She shows me the bare hands, and her hands are like all the blood is rushed to her hands, and her hands are burning up. And I'm like, okay. So she immediately starts smudging with Palo Santo wood and sage around the entire house to kind of ground the entire house. And I had just got to know R. Keith Andrews at this time. And R. Keith Andrews, I called him up after the show. I said, dude, you're not going to believe this. And he goes, let me guess, in his high-pitched voice. He goes, you had an experience while you were on the air. I said, yep. And I told him what had happened. And Keith had never been to my house. Keith doesn't travel out of his town very often. And he says, let me ask you something. Where your house is located, he didn't even know my address, so he couldn't look it up in Google or anything. He goes, is there about 15, 20 feet between you and your neighbor's house? If you're looking towards the street right now, the house is on your right. He goes, is there about 15, 20 feet between your house and there's kind of a grassy knoll that goes down, a little hill that goes down between you? And I'm like, yes. He goes, yeah, that's where the ship is parked. And when he took off, he ran back to his ship and he got the hell out of there. So then he goes on to proceed, I'm picking up this energy right now. And, I'm trying to say this in R. Keith Andrews terms, and I'm not very good. And he goes, he just got himself in trouble because he wasn't supposed to let you see him. And I'm like, oh no. So that is how the legend of Carl started. And when he came back 3 years later, it was August. I was already at my new house. Olaf Phillips was my guest. At about 11:35, I started feeling his energy around, and I announced to Olaf on the air. I said, Carl's here. It was just that matter of fact. Carl was here. I could see shadows moving in my carport. So after the show, I walk out of my makeshift studio at that point. I walk around through my house. I got Olaf Phillips on my phone, and I have a 2-tiered driveway where I could park up, and then my driveway slopes down, and then I could park at the bottom by my carport. And I have my 2 vehicles sitting down below. And as I start to walk through my carport, I see this yin and yang, almost like Nike symbols at about 6 feet high, go right in between my vehicles from back to the front. And then they made their way back and just disappeared. So I tell Olaf, I said, dude, I'm going over there. I said, I don't know if Carl is over there or not, but I'm checking this out. And let me tell you, man, I am as puckered as possible right now. Right? And he's like, I'm like, dude, you stay on the phone with me. If anything happens, you're my witness to this. And he goes, okay. So I go walk in between the vehicles. There's nothing there. I walk to the outside of my Jeep. There's nothing there. But something told me, get on your patio. Get on your patio. So I ran right through my carport, opened the door, step in, lock the door, run upstairs to my patio. I said, Olaf, I got to go. I got to call R. Keith Andrews. And this is all of a sudden where it was just like the movie Signs, where up in my driveway, okay, where I have all my big trees, and I've got about 8 or 9 trees that stand about 60, 70 feet tall in my front yard. And in my backyard, there's a conversation going on. This is going on. So I call up Keith. I'm like, dude, Carl's back. He's like, well, it took him a while. And I told him what happened, and he goes, by the way, have you heard any strange sounds? And I'm like,
duh.
I'm like, yes.
He would know that.
Yeah, I know, right? Because he's quite intuitive. And anyways, he goes out and he says, he's like, I'm hearing this clicking sound like the movie Signs. And Keith goes, does it sound more like this? And he did this frog thing with his throat. And I'm like, that's the sound. Well, I have this on speaker on my phone. Well, Carl and his buddy who were in my backyard, they must have heard it, because when Keith did that sound, they responded. So here I am listening to this conversation happen, and I'm like, hey, Carl, I know you're here, man. I know you're here. Like, just fill me in. Where are you? Come hang out with us, man. You know, let's just get to it. And there was nothing. Like, you could see little shimmering and everything. And then the guy up in the trees, he was just hiding out. He was like weirded out. And Keith said that he was a little freaked out that I knew he was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyways, this is where it gets weird. And Joe Monk in our chat room is going to absolutely razz me about this, because I all of a sudden started getting a little bit interested in going.
Oh.
They were like giving me a signal. This is the Carl incident. If you're watching on YouTube, this is the piece of art Dirty Fylth did about the Carl incident on the return. And that's me yelling out the window, hey, keep it down out there. And then the clicking. So
Get off my lawn, you aliens.
Get off my lawn, you aliens. Right? So anyways, moving from there, I felt I needed to drive to the lake that's about 2 miles away, right by little Marky Spender's house. And there's a parking lot in there. And this was a moonless night, millions of stars in the sky. So I figured, you know what? It was like they were telepathically telling me, if you go there, you're going to see more. Okay. So I hop in my vehicle. I pull down out of my driveway. I pull down to the end of my street. The lake is on the right. And I'm thinking, Tim Hortons is on the left. Town is 10 minutes away. Nothing's going to change in 10 minutes. So I raced and I got myself an ice cap and a donut, because if they're taking me for a ride, I'm bringing some Tim Hortons with me. Okay. And that's the truth. And so that's what I did. I raced, I ran and got some Tim Hortons, and then I raced back to the lake, and I sat there for 45 minutes. And I'm on the phone with Keith, and nothing happened. Nothing happened. I drive back home, and there is nothing there. Nothing. Everything is gone. And that is the last time I saw Carl. Yeah.
Goodbye, Carl.
That's pretty much it, Science Bob. Pretty much it. Hi, Swamp Dweller. How you doing, buddy? If you want to hop on, let me know, and I'll send you a link to the show. But yeah, that is what happened there, guys. And that is the legend. And when he is coming back, I don't know. I know he is out there, way out there somewhere. Like the Bumblefoot song. I know you're out there somewhere. I always say I always think that Bumblefoot's singing that about Carl. So that's really cool. But yeah, that's a legend. That's what you wanted to hear, Bob. There you go.
I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. The Lord David Scott. We are not worthy. Thank you, Johnny Cho.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. It's
Thank
the
you.
birthday
Thank you
show
very
tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We got about 2 minutes to go before we got to go to break at the bottom of the hour here on Spaced Out Radio for the first half hour. All right. We are taking questions. I am being drilled. The audience, you're allowed to participate. If you're on YouTube or Twitter, you're allowed to participate in the questions as well. Anything you want to know about SOR or what is happening, my opinion on everything, grill me. Ask Dave anything birthday tonight.
I have something.
You go. You go.
I think I know it, but just so everyone, where did you learn about the word plethora from?
Plethora is my favorite word.
Mine too.
It has been my favorite word ever since I saw El Guapo use the word plethora on the Three Amigos.
Yes. Yes.
Heck yeah.
Me too.
That is where I learned the word plethora as a teenager, and I never heard that word before. And I was like, what is a plethora?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to learn what a plethora was. And that is how plethora became my favorite word. And for a while there in our chat room, the word plethora was actually a drinking word, Bree.
Mm-hmm.
It was a drink. So every time I used the word plethora, it was about, it was literally about having a drink.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the meantime, I'm sitting sober in the studio here, can't drink during the show, but the audience was getting trashed with me, including Bigfoot Michigan Rob when he owned his sports bar in Michigan.
Goodness.
And they had a bunch of people who were listening to the show while having a few drinks in one of the back rooms there. So every time I said the word plethora, they had to buy a round of drinks from Rob. And if I used another word, I forget what it was. I think it was woo or something like that. And they had to, or Rob had to buy a round. So it was a dangerous, dangerous game that was being played. Hey, Science Bob, Thin Lizzy, Bree Borden, Grant Tavius, the Grant T. Baker, and Dirty Fylth are here. We will have more people coming on in later on. It is Ask Dave Anything, the birthday party show, right here on Spaced Out Radio. We are having a great time tonight. Second hour. We'll take some questions as well. We'll be right back. My God, I got to catch up on the chat room here. I'm so behind, guys.
Yeah.
I just This is just crazy here. Hold on.
I gotta get some more tea. I'll be right back.
All
All
right.
right.
All right. Dirty Filth. All right. Let's see. Look at Chef that's there. Best audience in paranormalcy. Chef rocks a majorly thick lip blade. It's very nice. Very nice.
I will catch up with you, Chef.
Oh, yeah. Swamp Dweller, thank you so much for that amazing super chat, my friend. Love the swamp around here. Have you noticed how many people have literally hopped on the Swamp Dweller bandwagon since we started doing this feature? I can't.
Has
It's
it
amazing.
been a plethora of people, would you say?
A plethora of people. Hey, there's the gorgeous and talented Katie Grabowski, a.k.a. Katie Page. Katie Page. Moonbeam, we call her. Can't wait to hang out with her in Denver.
I was going to say another Coloradan.
Mm-hmm.
We
Crispo
need
from
a
Austin.
plethora of plethoras and a plethora of Katie.
Where the heck
Exactly.
did you find that?
A plethora of drinks to go along with it. There's gorgeous Aussie Ange. Who else is joining us here? The stunning and amazing Kara McIver. Bassmaster, how you doing, buddy? Pono triple or quadruple 8, how are you? And who else is here? Raz, how are you? And in the chat room, I am 25 minutes behind right now. I'm trying.
I was going to ask if I could actually start posting stuff up for you.
Yeah, if you could.
Okay.
Hi, Rui. I still like to say hello to everybody, though. That's my issue. Low Pro, nice to have you here. It's without these people, we don't have a show.
Exactly.
This is why I love saying hi to everybody. Rich Hilke's here. Holy cow. Rich Hilke. The Rich Hilke. The stunning Lucy Bell has returned. The gorgeous Sally Elka. We got to get you booked for the show again, my dear. Got to get you on. And let's see. Who else? 416 Bitcoin. Stevie Franchise. Gorgeous Larry. This will be our first question from the audience coming out right here. All right. Well, I answered the second part of that. Thurston Howell III, the stunning Vixen Doe, John Poe, says, I don't come around here anymore, but I came here to say happy birthday, David. Thank you, John Poe. Yeah, that's where we'll start the questions right there. So if you want to, Grant, if you can say thank you to all the super chatters personally and just kind of type it out there, that would be
Absolutely.
wonderful.
Gotcha.
Because I'm kind of stuck in the chat room right now. Let me just go like this, get it right to the bottom here.
Oh, we are going to get to Chris Tynes' question. I assure you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So do you want me to verbally say thank you or in the chat rooms?
No, just type it in the chat room, dude.
You got it.
Get your fingers dirty. There's Uncle Dale in his power stash. Remember, if you're in Austin, Texas, and you see Uncle Dale, rub his power stash for good luck right through the 4th of July, people. Lamb Chops, welcome to our chat. GFGF, thank you so much. Oh, happy birthday to your wife, my friend. And by the way, I saw your wedding pictures. She is way too pretty for you, especially with those ugly, meaty toes that you have. I hope you haven't taken socks off yet, just to be honest. I mean, you are a Leafs fan, so I got to give it to you. Fabster, what's happening, buddy? Thanks for coming on in. And Donnie Cho, thank you for that amazing super chat, my friend. Really do appreciate the love, buddy, and the fact that you're here almost every night. Thank you so much. All right, we got just over a minute here, guys. Who am I missing here? John Mellon, welcome to the show. Jesus Garcia, it's been a while. How you been doing? The gorgeous and talented Nicole Sakic is in the chat room, and really appreciate it. Travis DeLuca, how you been, man? Philo Fire, the gorgeous Avi May, all the world's a stage. Good to have you back, man. And the gorgeous Melissa Nicole, thanks for coming on in. And where? I am so behind here. Bigfoot Michigan Rob, thank you so much for that amazing super chat, my friend. Much love to you, buddy. Much love to you. Really appreciate it. All right. Jeremy Jones, how you doing? Dave Nick Pope is going to jump out of a cake wearing a thong for your birthday. Holy cow. You know what the problem is? I have one of those speckled ceilings with Nick Pope's Brillo pad hairdo. If he jumped out of a cake, he's going to get stuck to my ceiling.
Well, do you think that's the only place it's a Brillo pad? His top of his head, so it's his whole body is gonna.
Bad. Okay, guys, we got like 5 seconds. We're gonna continue on here. Thank you so much, and I'll continue to say hi to everybody here. Half hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. I'm the birthday boy tonight, and we're celebrating it all with you. Very much appreciate you tuning us on in. If you've missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you, including Rocking Out to Bumblefoot, reading Shirky Poo's Newswire. Check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. It's the birthday bash where I got a team of people here grilling me for Ask Dave Everything or anything right here on the big show. And that is what we are doing tonight. And so far, they have not been nice. Not been nice so far. And I love it. Science Bob is with us. Dirty Fylth is painting a brand new picture for the show. Mm-hmm. We got Grant Baker from the After Hours, also from After Hours, and our TikTok. We have Thin Lizzy, otherwise known as Bree Borden. How y'all doing? All right, we're going to start with a question from Christine. Dave, have you ever seen a UFO and or ET? Well, I just said the Carl story, so I'm going to drop the ET one right there.
No. Oh, no.
What?
You cannot go through UFO without Samantha and the aliens.
Oh, good call.
Okay. I've seen a number of UFOs. Okay. And Bob and I have talked very, very studiously about this entire story from start to finish. So I'll give you the rundown of the big ones that happened. On April 10th, 2015, I went over to, or 2014, I went over to a friend's house. This is a year before Carl. Spaced Out Radio wasn't even a thing back then. I go over to these friends' house where we did a lot of meditation and a lot of things that we would try and connect with the other side. Ghosts, Sasquatch, gnomes, fairies, everything. They had like this little mini ESETI ranch. There was only 2 houses on their street, and both houses were surrounded like a horseshoe with forest. And by the way, if you hear any clicking in the background, that's Dirty Fylth with his beautiful art that he's creating. And anyways, so that night I go and I leave work. I get off work at about 8 o'clock, and I'm driving over there to meet my partner over there who has our infant son. And about halfway through the drive, because I worked out of town, I started getting a real bad migraine. And when I got there, I was in full migraine mode. I go sit on the couch. My partner says, "Hey, do you want to go home?" I said, No, you just got here. I just got here. We said we were coming over for tea tonight. And that's, I went and sat on the couch, my eyes closed. I put like a little washcloth or something over my eyes so that way I could black things out. And that's when I realized after about half an hour that it wasn't an actual migraine. It was actually shapes pulsating on my head. Started as a circle, went over to the right side of my head as a triangle, went to the left side as a circle. So square, triangle, circle. And as I am there, sitting there, and the pain subsides, I automatically had an anxiety attack that I needed to go outside. So the lady of the house, who I need not mention her name because she is the one who ended up cursing me at the end. And I think it was all because of jealousy, because I was so naive to what was happening, and she wanted to be the center of attention. She and I go outside into the back about 50, 60 feet behind the house, and there's an old 2x10 horse fence along there. And it was one of those real West Coast misty nights where everything is damp. It's not raining. It's low cloud. And you could just cut the energy with a knife. It was so thick. So she goes, well, they called you outside. You better ask for them. So I was like, what do I do? So I said, okay. I said, out of God's peace, love, and light, you called us outside. Can you please show us where you are? Same volume that I'm talking to you guys. And about 150 yards away in the neighbor's backyard, this UFO turned its lights on the ground. And these bright white lights came rushing through the trees that separated both yards. And it was the brightest white light I've ever seen, but I could stare at it. I could look at it. I could, I wasn't squinting, and neither was she. And so I ended up, after about 30 seconds, the lights went off. Now, my first inclination when I saw that was that there was somebody there who had one of those 100,000 candlewatt flashlights. I'm listening for laughter. I'm listening for music. I'm listening for absolutely anything that's going to tell me that's a person messing with us. Then the lights went off. I said, if you were of alien descent, out of God's peace, love, and light, can you turn your lights back on? Boom. Lights come back on. And all I'm thinking is, holy cow, if I'm talking in this volume, there is no way they can hear me 150 yards away. But this thing was hearing me. This time the lights were whiter, brighter, larger, spanned through the trees, and I started seeing this blue thing. So I moved over to my right to see what else I could see, and that's where I saw this vertical blue cylinder standing vertically with this black cloud rotating counterclockwise around the bottom, and then it went halfway up and then down to the bottom and then up again. And I was like, can you believe this right now? And I swear a lot, okay? Away from this microphone, I swear a lot. And I was swearing. So the lady of the house says, let's go over there. And I said, no, bad idea. Bad idea. And she goes, why? I said, suspect number one if they take you. Because I ain't going over there. I go back to your house without you, I'm in trouble. Not going to be suspect number one. So I convinced her to stay. And the lights went back off after 30 seconds. And I said, just so I'm not crazy, out of God's peace, love, and light, can you turn our lights on one more time? And they turned back on. And after about 30 seconds, I'm still looking at all the same stuff. 30 seconds later, the lights started turning themselves off and on, off and on, off and on. So that was like a signal to me that, you know how when you're staring up at satellites, if you're counting satellites, all of a sudden you get those ones that power up, and we think it's iridium flares or reflection from the sun or everything. This always used to happen over my house. And it was like the message was, it's not always satellites, Davey boy. It's us flying over, checking on you. Okay. We go back in the house. Nothing more happens. And, we're talking about the incident. I don't sleep for 5 days. Like I got about 5-6 hours sleep in 5 days because I was tripping out, trying to figure out anything to do with a blue cylinder. Couldn't find anything. Fast forward 5 days or 4 days later, get a phone call from the lady of the house saying, I've met this lovely young lady named Samantha, who's a lifelong ET contactee. And she's coming over for tea on Wednesday. Would love for you guys to come over and meet her. So, yeah, I happen to have Wednesday off. So the ladies start doing their thing on Thursday. And how are you? And, cheers. And let's have some tea. And I'll take some cream. And I'm pacing around. Like, I don't want to sit in the house and talk about this crap. I want to get outside. I want to go back in that field. Samantha picks this up. I've known this girl for 20 minutes. Right? She goes, can I come with you? Okay. So we walked out there. It's a beautiful sunny spring day. It's April 15th, about 1:45 at this time in the afternoon. All the kids are all at school. And I'm showing her where the craft was, and she's picking up on the energy. And there's 4 dogs around. My 2 dogs that we'd bring to the farm to run around, and then the farm's 2 dogs that were there as well. And I would, all of a sudden she says something weird, Samantha. She goes, you want to go in the forest? Yeah, I knew. I knew. And then she goes, we're probably going to see something, right? I'm like, yeah, I know. She goes, but from what I know, ETs don't like dogs. I'm like, well, so we tried to shoo the dogs back to the house a couple times. That didn't work. So we continued to walk towards the far fence where the property meets the forest. All 4 dogs ran ahead of us. All 4 dogs ran into the forest. We watched the dogs run into the forest. We get about 50 yards in. Samantha all of a sudden starts having this real weird, perplexed look on her face as she's looking around, and she stops. And I'm like, what's the matter? She goes, Dave, where's the dogs? All 4 dogs were gone. Don't know where they went. They were just gone. So, like stupid people in a horror movie, we kept going. We walk another 50 yards into the forest. Samantha jumps up on this tree stump because she's tiny. She's only like 5'1", 5'2", maybe 5'3" on a good day, 5'4" in heels. And Samantha states, she has that perplexed look on her face again. And I'm like, you okay? She goes, Dave, I want you to look that way. And she points north. She goes, I want you to tell me what you see. I'm like, okay. So I did. I looked that way. And my next 3 minutes, all I could say was, Samantha, what the F is that? Samantha, what the F is that? Because 200 feet away from us, there was a 10 to 12 foot extraterrestrial standing there looking back at us. And I was like, you got to be kidding me right now. This is so wrong. So wrong. And that's exactly what happened. And there was another being there that Samantha started communicating with. It was I never saw him, but apparently he was about a 6-foot gray alien, but he was tan skin and color. And this alien says telepathically through Samantha, you're more than welcome to come over and say hello. We're not here to harm you. We're not here to take you. But we're concerned about the man's health. Now, this is tripping me out because I saw Fire in the Sky, the movie, and I didn't know that 3/4 of it was BS at that time. And Samantha starts walking down there. I'm like, please don't leave me. Like, do not leave me. She goes, they're not going to hurt us. Let's go. I'm like, no. She's like, well, I'm going. And I literally started freaking out. I did. I want to say this, though. I wasn't scared looking at the aliens. What scared me was that I'm 40 years old at this time, and I'm just realizing that everything that I was taught to believe is now bogus. That's what hit me. So Samantha stayed with me. Just hung out there and stared at him for like 15, 20 minutes. And then we started getting a feeling that there were more aliens elsewhere. Sound familiar, Bob? And,
yes.
And this is where with this incident and with the incident with Carl and Bayard, this is how I figured out how aliens get away. Because we were getting told to go to a different area, that there were more aliens there and go find them. So we went to that area, and of course there's nothing. And we go back to the original spot, they're gone. And all the energy has changed. So that's how I figured out how aliens leave. So there you go, Christine. Aunt Edna has a question here. How old were you when you had your first experience? My first paranormal experience, I was 21, working in a hockey rink, a very haunted hockey rink, where everything bad that could happen happened. From toilets exploding to standing against brick walls and feeling like somebody is hitting you on the other side of the brick wall with a sledgehammer, even though there is no tenants in the building beside you where the sledgehammer is being hit. There was a fire in the building on a machine that in 30 years had never, ever caught fire from the company who built it. And I was driving a Zamboni one night and saw a gentleman standing upstairs staring down at me, even though the building was locked up. Let's see, walking on the tiles I remember one time my friend and I were hanging out upstairs. It was after the bar. We had a few drinks, figured it was a safe place to go sober up, and we're hanging out upstairs. We literally hear the front door unlock, the sound of footsteps on the tiles downstairs, and then the footsteps coming up the stairs. And when we went to the stairwell, there was nobody there. And weird stuff happened. So I was 21 when I had my first paranormal experience. All right, question from the panel here. Let's go for it. Science Bob?
Oh, I've had two. Somebody else's turn.
All right, it's time for Bree. It's time for Bree.
I'm thinking. How about Gary? Here, Gary.
Where's Gary? Gary is Bree's husband here, and he's got just a beautiful beard and hair combination.
What
What question do you want to ask me, Gary?
Ask.
All right.
Anything.
So when you
Ask me anything.
when you go to Taco Bell and you're driving
Yes.
home, are you on the lookout for the chalupa cabra?
No, and I'll tell you why. I am so amazed that there is actually Taco Bell in my vehicle that I am damn near crying as I am eating it at the same time. And I do the steering wheel thing where I put my knee up to the steering wheel so I could hot sauce in one hand and bite with the other. And I always have the taco in the left hand so I can grab the steering wheel in case I can and grab my drink in case I'm thirsty after that every third bite. It's very important to have that beverage right there for every third bite. That's a very important question.
Okay, what is it? A crunch wrap?
Oh no, I am. When I go to Taco Bell, I order the deluxe fries, so that way they got like the sour cream and the tomatoes and chives and everything on there, and then it's a couple of. It's always two fully loaded beef burritos.
There you go.
Yeah, we're gonna get this stuff done right, and thanks to Lynn Wallington, I got addicted. What's that blue drink? That Blue Mountain Dew.
Baja Blast.
That's the one. I never knew it existed. That is one of the greatest creations in life. The Baja Blast. Okay.
I like the shade of it.
I think that on the 9th day, God made Baja Blast. That's what I think happened.
There's a YouTube video of someplace that the Taco Bell was being shut down or like demolished, and then people were like holding a vigil before it happened, and then people dressed up in like the color of Baja Blast, and some ladies like Baja Blast. I'll have to find you that video.
That's a good video.
I've seen it. That was in California. That was in California, where it was a college town where they were shutting down the college Taco Bell. And they protested so hard about shutting down that location that they reopened it.
I'm so glad that you know that.
Well, happy birthday, Dave.
Thank you. I cannot wait to give your beard a tug in Denver at the MUFON conference.
Yeah, it gets cut off when I'm not saying it's cut off. The question was.
Yes. I could see it. Oh, trust me, I could see that lovely beard there. All right, let's go to Mennonite Abe's question. Dave, you have to eat either Taco Bell on Devil's Tower or breakfast for dinner on a UFO. You could only do one. What do you choose? Well, I'm choosing Taco Bell on Devil's Tower, the tree stump, because A, I'm on Team Stump, but B, I can see the UFO up close and personal as it leaves with Science Bob on there enjoying breakfast. We both win, Bob. We both win on that side. So it all works there. Hold on. We got to turn the lights up here. Ooh-wee.
Yeah, Dave and I are going for a ride. We're going to hitch a ride, and I'm going to try to control the craft.
That is very true. That is very true. So that is what is going to go down on that craft, you know, as we wait for Grantavius to get back in here. on the show. But tonight, for people just tuning on in, we got about 4.5 minutes before we got to go to break at the top of the hour. It is Ask Dave Anything birthday questions tonight. Anything goes on Spaced Out Radio. Let's go to Lucy Bell. Is the movie Paul real? And green peppers are awesome. Yes, green peppers are very awesome. Bob, do you want to take that? Is Paul real? I'd like to think that the storyline is very real.
It sounds so much like it's been filled up with comedy a bit, but it's so like so many encounters and contactee experiences. I think it's probably real, taken from somebody's real experience and made into something funny.
I think the same thing. And I don't think I could have said it any better. How about you, Bree? The movie Paul?
I mean, who's to say it's not? I like the movie. Maybe the alien was hanging out with Carl Sagan and medicating.
There's a good possibility of that.
Oh, Bree, I love it. If
you know, you know.
Oh, I love it, Bree. I love it.
We have 3 minutes to go here. Let's get a deworm. You could have only one cryptid alien question answered. What would it be? I would want it definitely is aliens. It's definitely aliens. I want to know where they're from. But my question is, when can I fly the ship?
Gotta fly the ship.
Gotta fly the ship. Have to. Grantavius, good to have you back.
Thank you so much. I have a request from my 3-year-old.
Yes.
Oh.
What was the last thing you did for the first time?
What was the last thing I did for the first time?
My 3-year-old, I said, hey, do you want to ask anything to Dave Scott for his birthday? And that's what he came up with.
Brilliant question.
It's a
profound.
3-year-old. He's almost 4. So a 4-year-old's mind comes up with the most profound question. I started thinking about it. I was like, oh my goodness.
Out of the mouth of babes. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the question? What is something that I did for the last thing?
What is the last thing you did for the first time?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
My God. That is a tough question.
Well, the way he put it was...
I got it. I
Okay.
casted a footprint of Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never done that before.
Mm-hmm.
I had never done that before. And me and the lip blade casted that print. And that's so that would be it.
So were there both left and right footprints?
There was only Bob. There ended up only being one that we could tell.
Okay.
There were 3 or 4 others that were shoes because we casted 2 prints. One ended up being a shoe. The other one ended up being the Sasquatch print.
So there's normally this kind of urban legend or lore legend that usually only one footprint shows up. And there's this hypothesis that Sasquatch coming in and out of portals. Well, you can get it. One leg is in the portal and the other leg is out of the portal. And that's the reason you only have one-sided footprints.
Oh, well.
You know what? What's weird about it, Bob? You talk to any Sasquatch researcher, 99% of the prints that are found, which are only single prints, for some reason are always right-footed. Rarely do they ever find a left footprint. And
the left is in the portal.
It's the strangest thing. Katie Grabowski, what's Dave's favorite breakfast food for dinner?
None.
It's universal. It's bacon.
Nut.
Oh,
Hey, good choice. And Katie,
yeah, because that's
we love you.
multi-purpose.
Absolutely. We'll come back on Ask Dave Anything's birthday party here. We got Grant T. Baker. We got Dirty Phil drawing a great painting. We got Science Bob. We got Thin Lizzy from the After Hours and TikTok on Space Sound Radio. And Little Marky Spender's question is up next. I am literally 45 minutes behind in the chat room right now.
Oh, you're good, man. I'm sorry
It's
about
rough, dude. I mean, it's packed.
Yeah, I am sorry, guys. I like to move a little bit quicker than this, as we have 200.
You're having a good time.
Well, look at it this way, man. You cannot keep up with it's your birthday and everybody's asking something.
All right. Marky Spinner, in which leg do you mind getting shot in when Sasquatch chases us? You know what? Screw you. One of these days, I'm going to go get my own license. Yeah, right. The left one. No, not the left. The right one. The right one. I got a bad knee there. Nicholas Shaughnessy, thank you so much for the super chat. JP Merrick, thank you so much for the super chat as well. And we really appreciate that. I'm trying to speed up here, guys. Normally, I like to take more time, but I'm just so behind everyone. I apologize.
Oh, we're rocking and rolling, man. You got 210 people watching this. And then at the same time, I'm trying to help you, and I'm behind.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm at 9:19 p.m. right now on the chat room talk. So that tells you how far behind I am. What's that? I just want to make sure I'm not missing any questions either as I'm going through the chat room. Bigfoot Michigan Rob, thank you again for that awesome super chat. Mr. Gray Owl, Green Space Babe or Mars Chick from Total Recall with 3 rat-a-tat-tats. Green Space Babe, man, got to go there at least once. That's all I'm saying. You know, that's all I'm saying. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. I'll be right back. You guys chat with the audience.
Absolutely.
If you don't mind. All right.
And so I just texted my daughter. Give me 1 second. She's responding to me right now. I asked her what she would want to ask Dave Scott. We're not going to ask that question. Hold on a second. Let's see what she says now. So I have a 9-year-old daughter. She asked, if you had to remove one color from the world forever, which would it be? I love kids, man. Dude, they come up with the weirdest questions. It's amazing. And if I had to remove one color from the world, I wouldn't remove blue or green because of the best colors. Purple's pretty cool. I would do yellow. Yellow, I think I would remove. What do you guys think?
Split pea green.
Really? It's a good one.
Although I like green. Green, black, and purple are my favorite.
So green is my favorite color as well. But yellow, on the other hand, I mean, I understand primary, everything else, but yeah.
I dyed some yarn today.
Is that the chartreuse or pink? What do you want to call that?
It's purple, blurple now with different shades and tones. They're like different purple tones. I didn't have purple, so I mixed stuff to create it.
Yeah.
Purple is difficult to make.
Hey, Fylth.
Yes.
Got a question for you.
Maybe.
I love you, man. I really do. You're literally my brother from another mother.
Yes.
Yeah. If you could have dinner with any 3 people from history, who would it be?
Oh, I don't know. Julius Caesar, for sure.
Oh, shit. Why?
I just like to pick his brain because he always said there was 10,000 bad guys and we beat him up with 10 people. I'd always like to just ask about that. Plus, I like history. But anybody recent, probably Hunter Thompson or Ralph Bakshi. Wait, no, instead of Ralph Bakshi, Milo Manara for sure. I could speak to him because I don't know any Italian, but I just love to talk to him about his artwork.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Anybody else got a question?
Can kind of see the different colors. But it's all different shades of purples. Can't wait until it's dry.
Let's see here.
I saw you dyeing the yarn today.
Mm-hmm.
On
High
Facebook.
Philo Fire.
Yeah.
You were dyeing it your hair color. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's different shades and tones of purple. So I like color. I like to have fun with color.
Won't blame you.
I liked it when you had the multicolored yarn. Was that you or was that my other friend Karen? I can't remember.
I know I had some striped ones.
Yeah, that was it. It was you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kara, for that amazing super chat. Very much appreciate it. John Melland, welcome back. And Stu Gerson, nice to see you. We got about 20 seconds here. Thank you to all the super chatters tonight. Steve Wolf, thank you for coming on in. Really appreciate everybody. I'm way behind in the chat room by a few minutes here, like half an hour. So I'll try and catch up with everybody here. Tits McGee, thank you so much for filling in for the vacationing Veronica Corningstone, and thank you for the super chat.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We very much appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on Odyssey Radio, TalkStream Live, and KPNL. All of our archives are free. Join us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. We have Houseman Eyes. Houseman Eyes is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read Shirky Poo's Newswire. Got our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. We continue on tonight with our good friends, Science Bob, Grant Baker, Thin Lizzie Borden from After Hours, and our TikTok channel. Dirty Fylth is up at the corner. If you're watching on YouTube, he is drawing us a fantastic birthday picture of Sasquatch, Mothman, and myself eating some pizza. I think there's a gnome in there as well. And he's just working his butt off right there. Looks absolutely perfect. We love this angle, Dirty Fylth. Love this angle. It is Ask Dave Everything and Anything Spaced Out Radio tonight. And that's what I am being grilled on as we speak. And Grant wants to start with a big question here.
I do. And by the way, Fylth, I love your art. I just got to say that. You're amazing, my man. I love you to death. And I want more pictures. I will pay for every one of them. They're amazing. Thank you for the one you gave me in Vegas. And here comes another question from one of my kids. My 9-year-old daughter wants to know, is time travel possible, Dave?
Yes, I think we've already accomplished it. We're not going to know for a number of years, but I think a lot of the UFOs that people are seeing are actual time travel and time travelers coming on in. Now, you don't have to believe me. I want to believe this. I totally want to believe this. But is it true? I don't know. Science Bob, fill us in. Are we time traveling yet?
So we know that there's a well-known theoretical physicist in University of Connecticut who is a big-time general relativist and quantum mechanic or whatever, and he has set down a way to time travel backwards if the device is made now. Okay, so given that, Michael Schratt is one of the most amazing documentarians on UFO cases and things like that. And one of his most interesting ones, and that he's brilliant at delivering these narratives about these UFOs. And one of my favorites Michael Schratt does is this UFO coming down and these people coming out of the craft, and they're clearly in uniform. And since the craft is doing things that no craft we can make now can do, and these are human beings coming out, it's like a piece of evidence that we can time travel backwards in time from the future. And so I just think that there are theoretical underpinnings, and then Feynman interprets electrons and positrons as the same thing, but the positrons are traveling backwards in time. Well, if you can travel backwards in time and forwards in time as a particle, that means we are made of particles. I think probably can travel forwards in time and backwards in time as well. So there's science that hints at it. There are these examples from superstars like Michael Schratt that could kind of indicate to us beings time travel. One of the most famous cases was this priest out in the Pacific on the islands, and he had a bunch of people around him, and they saw this saucer come over, and these people came out, stood on top of the craft, and waved at the priest and all the people on the ground. And there were hundreds of witnesses. I mean, so all of them are lying? All of them are having the same LSD trip? I mean, no. So I think these kinds of hints, Dave, that this stuff is real.
Well, the other thing too, Bob, is I think we see all of a sudden blips in time too, which is where people see these pterodactyls, these dinosaurs, like raptor-like beings, thunderbirds, everything.
I've seen
like
one of those.
What did you see?
I just on the after hours, I was saying about when I was younger, seeing like what I thought looked like a pterodactyl.
No way.
Downtown Minneapolis.
No way.
Years ago.
So my psychic buddy Lala B has been pointing out to me these what do you call it? Mandela's effect things, and they're just one after another. She's just pointing them out. And after a while, you go, these are all like breaks in the time stream where one parallel timeline went one way and we remember it, but now we're on another parallel timeline and what we remember is no longer true. I mean, it's just all kinds of crazy stuff like that just, you can't ignore all of it and claim it's all fake hallucinations and bull, what?
Well, I got something here. I got a text message from my daughter, and she's like, "What's the password for again, Dad?" Exactly. That's your answer. Exactly. What is the password for? Exactly. Your password tonight is husbandize. That's HAUSSMANNIZE. Husbandize. And what's the password for? Exactly. We're still trying to figure that out.
Okay, so JB claims we're Sasquatch aliens. That means we're people using a bunch of big words and pretending like we know what they are.
Exactly. Super Quest here. Roy wants to know, if you could interview one wrestler on SOR, who would it be, dead or alive?
Ooh.
I have to say it would be Chris Jericho or Mick Foley. One of the two.
Mankind.
One of the two. Because they are a bunch of weirdos, and Jericho really believes it and talks paranormal. He's experienced it. I'd love to see that on there as well. All right.
Aliens.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Raz is asking, Dave, have you ever got high on your own supply? No, I don't. No,
hey, Dave, your supply is dust.
pretty
There's
much.
nothing there.
Pretty much. I'm pretty boring that way. I drive a beige Volvo, people. That shows you how boring I am, right? Honestly, I'm not that person. Totally not that person. All right.
Or you're doing it as a good disguise because no one will be any wiser.
No. You know what? I love the smell of pot, but it's just something I don't do. I don't do. Now, if I had to do in order for like health reasons, oh yeah, 100%. And I say that with my daughter listening in right now. Hi, honey, how are you? Yeah,
Hi, Dave's daughter.
She's laughing.
Your dad is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, she's laughing right now or rolling her eyes, one of the two. I'm surprised she's watching, but that makes me happy. That makes me happy. Totally makes me happy.
Is she a Capricorn?
No, maybe. She's February 10th.
Oh, no. It's your other daughter, the Cappy.
It's weird because she keeps saying my birthday's on February 11th. I'm like, no, it's February 10th. It's February 10th. She just doesn't get it. Doesn't get her own birthday. All right. It is the Ask Me Anything Dave birthday show here on Spaced Out Radio. We are lining up for another question. Who is next? Science Bob, Bree, Grant. What do you got? Let's go, Grant.
Oh, you want to use me? Okay, using Earth astronomical terminology. Where are you from? I know where you're from. Dude, that's the biggest pause I've seen ever.
Hold on a second here, because this is an important question. Yes. Like, are you saying, as we speak here, about not the earthbound Dave, but the spiritual Dave? Where is spiritual Dave from? Is that what you're asking?
No, let's put it. I want to see what you think. What I'm asking. So we're looking for astronomical terminology. Where are you from? I want to see what your take on that question is.
I don't even know how to answer that.
Okay, so physically on this earth in the 3D realm where everybody's born, like you, me, and everybody that's listening, where are you from?
I'm born just above the 49th parallel. You remember losing at 5440 your bust, right? They taught you that in history down there, right?
He's barely a Canadian. He's so close.
Oh no, not even that. I'm actually counting how many well, there's countries in that parallel, so I'm trying to think of where he might be from.
I'm from Canada.
Were you born in Canada? You weren't born in Canada. You were born in Canada?
Yeah, hard to believe. Oh, somebody admits they were born in Canada.
Well, you're better than me. I was born in America.
I like America.
Well, at least someone does. Let's see. I love America. I'm just teasing. America's great. Canada's great.
Well, there's a good one.
But the thing is I thought you were actually the way you react and act to certain things. I thought you were born in a little bit more northernly. Is that the right word? Northernly?
No. Northerly.
There we go.
Northerly. There we go. All right. Let's get to Andy Jones. Which has had the most effect on you, Bigfoot or the Gray Visitation? Definitely the Gray Visitation. The Bigfoot thing was cool. I would love to see a Sasquatch again. Absolutely love to see a Sasquatch again. Will I get a chance? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm trying hard for that, but I believe Sasquatch allows you to see it when they feel you're ready. And I think that they don't feel I'm ready right now. I don't know why, but I'm working on it. I'm working towards it. I think this may be my year. I really do believe this will be my year. The Gray Visitation, yeah, there's been a few of those. That's what freaks me out. And thank goodness, I will say this, thank goodness that my daughters have not been taken. And I don't want that to happen.
So much as you are aware of it.
So far, so good. So far, so good. I don't know. My daughter's listening, and I'm like, hey, have you been taken by aliens yet? She'll answer that to me here momentarily. She wants to answer in the chat, but she's so she doesn't want to be. She wants to be anonymous. So just text dear old dad and let dad know. Have you been taken by aliens yet?
You've been taught right by dear old dad. Just
exactly.
Text dad.
Yeah.
Don't be a target for all the weirdos.
Yeah. 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 She's a weirdo herself. So
We are the weirdos, mister.
There you go.
Excuse me. We're not the weirdos. It's the ones that don't believe.
but is there a lot to believe, though? A lot to believe. All right. We're still waiting for more questions from our audience in the chat room here on Ask Dave Anything on Spaced Out Radio. We got Grant Baker from After Hours, and our TikTok. We have Thin Lizzie Borden. We have Science Bob here from Science Bob and Friends. And Dirty Fylth up in the corner. He's painting a picture for tonight's show. It's going to be amazing. And my daughter says, no, she doesn't think she's been taken yet, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure my other daughter hasn't either. So that is good. I'm happy about that. Don't want them being taken. Let the old man go. Let the old man go. Science Bob, I know you got a question brewing for me.
Okay, so Dave has talked a lot tonight about a little bit of Bigfoot and a little bit of aliens. But Dave has done some serious woo, spooky, ghosty adventures and has seen a full-bodied apparition which he caught on film. Tell us about it.
Are you talking about the guy in the barn?
Yes.
Okay, I did not catch that photo for the record. One of our tour members did. In my area town, there's a museum where we used to do a ghost tour. And this skeptical lady came with her friend who is all into the ghost hunting shows. She was a retired teacher, and they went up into the barn and they caught this photo of a ghost walking up the stairwell. Now,
and it looks really creepy.
Yes, it very much does look creepy. And with that being said, this entity, if that's what we can call it, it was scary because he didn't like the fact that we saw him, and we've actually captured him twice on camera. And
hey, this is Canadian Paranormal.
Oh, that's Merle there. I'm trying to find the photo here. That's what I'm struggling to do here. Is I'm trying to find the photo as we speak, and I just
take your time. It's worth finding. I know the audience would love to see it.
Yeah. So I am trying to find the photo here and see if it'll pop up here. Let's see here. No. I'll bring them up here in a second. But this ghost, he was full body apparition. He was absolutely
solid
on the stairwell. And the lady who caught it didn't know. She took 3 photographs in that area and didn't know that she caught it until after the tour. She was looking at her photos on her phone. She was using a Galaxy 8 phone, and that's where she noticed that she had caught this. And so she took the photo, and we looked at it. I sent it to Butch Witkowski. I sent it to David Weatherly and a couple others in the paranormal field that I trust, and they were very much in shock by what we caused, because it's very rare when you find a full body apparition on camera that you cannot see through. Like, this thing was physical. And so that is what we did. And that is what we were able to capture. So I'm trying to bring up the barn photo here. And bear with me. Our people on radio won't be able to see this, and I apologize. But our YouTube, you could go onto our YouTube channel and you'll be able to see it. And I'll bring it up right now. So if you look to right here, now this is a person. There's a person standing below the stairwell, looking against that. But the gentleman on the stairwell, and whatever is behind him, which we think is a young girl, they're walking up the stairwell. And it is creepy. Absolutely creepy. So
Cool.
He's right here. And
So while you're looking, recently I was interacting with some folks, and I heard a rustling in the corner of my bedroom, and I woke up wide awake. I wasn't afraid or anything, and looked up over in the corner, and out of the corner comes this full-bodied human child with blonde hair and piercing eyes, looking straight into me, walks over towards me, stares into my eyes, and I'm going, well, what do you want? And with that, he vanished. It was, Dave, since I've gotten to know you, bro, my life is weird.
it is, you know what?
There it is.
There's one of the things that you need to discuss, Bob, how literally, and I'm going to show the second photo here. Okay, so I'm not going to save this one. Here's the second photo of the gentleman. Okay, this one is a little bit harder to see, but you will see as I bring on in here, you will see there is his face up close. Yeah. So we had these white orbs appear, and then you could see his face with his eyes, the same scarring on the face. Okay. After this second photo, that's when he started attacking people. And that's when things kind of got ugly in our area. And so now we don't allow people to go up on his stairwell. We don't allow people, before we would do a tour, we would have to bring him a shot of whiskey and a cigarette as an offering. And that's where things just got really, really strange with everything.
Yeah. So you know the story, but I'll tell the story of Science Sharon and Science Bob are in their living room, and I turn around to speak to her, and this white hot orb appears about her eye level on the couch cushion next to her, but above it, and sits there and does a wiggle around. And I mean, the thing is really bright, like hurts your eyes to look at it. And I'm going, what in the heck is that? And the look on her face was priceless. So she understood that this kind of stuff was kind of going on around us. That day, any doubt she ever had was gone. Look on her face was unbelievable. And this thing just wiggled around a little bit, poof, disappeared. Yeah, knowing you, Dave, is full of weirdness. So it's happened to me with others, and I kind of think that people who have an open mind and have some intent, when they go around experiencers, they are impacted. They're affected, and people call it the hitchhiker effect. I actually think it's changes being made to your consciousness.
And on that note, we are going to be taking a break here at the bottom of the hour. Dave's birthday show. celebrating my 49th trip around the sun. Science Bob, Grant, and Bree from the After Hours show. Dirty Fylth, painting away his beautiful art. We'll be back with more Spaced Out Radio when we return. There we go. We're clear. I'm almost caught up in the chat room here. Pix will be the next question. What is the most important thing we all need to do to advance disclosure? What we need to do is keep pressure on the politicians. That disclosure means everything. It does not mean let's forget about Roswell. Let's forget about everything that happened before 2004. We need disclosure on everything. They're not going to tell us, but that's what it means, at least in my opinion. Put the pressure on. Get more people jumping on the bandwagon of Tim Burchett, the congressman from, I believe is it Arkansas, where he's from, Bob?
Yes.
Tim Burchett. Okay, where he wants full disclosure from Roswell right up. Says the American people have a right to know. That's what we need. That's the attitude that we need to take. No more due diligence. It's about vigilance now.
Oh, yeah.
The lovely Lala, how are you? Have you ever experienced Dogman? I think I have felt him around, but I cannot confirm that, and I have not seen any evidence of him, but apparently he is around my area on the east side of the studio, the east side. And we're
Why
going
not the west side?
No sightings there. All the sightings have been on the east and north.
So weird.
Yeah. It's very weird. Uncle Jim Goodall is here.
He certainly is.
We love Uncle Jim around here.
I'm such a fanboy.
Me too. Me too. And there's Chow Fun. Welcome to SOR Chat. Who else do we have here? I'm only right now. Am I still 30 minutes behind? God damn. Hold on.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Robert Lamoth, how are you? Oob to Joe's Main. You've got Lola's. Thank you, Moon Freedom and Steve, for the super chats. Very much appreciate the love and support. Lovely Linda Bennett. Appreciate you coming on in. You know, it's very rare.
Save that question for on air.
Which one? The Dogman one?
Yeah. Talk about it.
All right. Let's see here.
Talk about all the cryptid weirdo. We talk about ghosts, UFOs.
No. I got a topic that I want to talk about, Science Bob,
Ooh.
and it totally involves you, you dirty bastard.
Okay.
Totally.
What are friends for?
Exactly. You know?
Oh, my.
Hey, Dave.
Uh-huh. Yes, exactly.
I already know. I read your mind.
Yeah, well, that's part of it. That's part of it. I'm going to hit you up on air, so we're going to be on record.
Good.
Okay, so we got Lala's question answered. Let's go to
well,
Donnie.
you didn't answer it on air.
Oh, shit. Okay, remind
Bring
me
it
of that.
back. You didn't answer it on air.
Scroll. I don't know where the question is.
Okay.
All right. Bring it up to me. I will answer it on air. Donnie, could you compare, contrast the UFO community versus the cryptid community versus the ghost community? I will put it this way and simply, and people will probably hate me for this, but I'm going to tell the truth. The UFO community is really divided, but they are very strong in towards their goals. The cryptid community has no base when your main people, the BFRO, are actually changing scripts and reports to match their own testimony and their own beliefs.
Didn't they change that?
No, they haven't yet, from what I've heard.
Okay.
And the ghost community is waffling right now because COVID really hit them hard in their locations where they could go, number one. But number two, you're seeing a lot of teams being split, and there's not a great demand right now for paranormal television shows and new people coming in. So they have really slowed that down. So that's the biggest difference. If I were to choose one, it'd be the UFO community, followed by the cryptid community, followed by the ghost community, because they just seem lost. Gorgeous Rafaela in the Czech Republic, how are you? The lovely Jordan Ashley Pettit, nice to see you back. And why was the ET concerned about my health? I have no idea. It threw me for a loop. It really did. But apparently they thought, according to Samantha, that I would have a heart attack if I went over there. Zenzabil and Logan Black, thank you for joining us tonight. And I'm only 35 minutes behind in the chat room right now. So I will catch up, people. I promise you. Here we go in 5 seconds. We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Good to have you with us. My name is Dave Scott. Very much appreciating the love on my birthday night tonight. So thank you so much for sharing it with me. And with me tonight, I got Science Bob, I got Thin Lizzie, I got Grant from the After Hours show on our YouTube channel on the weekends. Lizzie also takes care of our TikTok. She does an amazing job. And if you're watching on YouTube, Dirty Fylth is up there painting a brand new picture of the birthday pizza between me, the California Creepers, Mothman, and Sasquatch. God, he's amazing. Absolutely.
And the California Nightcrawler.
California Nightcrawler, that's it. Thank you.
I like that.
Thank you.
Well,
Very much.
it's like the Fresno Nightcrawlers.
Yep.
Yes, you're correct.
All right, there was a question from Lala B in the chat room about Dogman, if I've ever had an experience with that. No, I have not. However, I do know that Steve Istall has been reporting a lot of Dogman sightings and encounters in my area and north of me, and they're picking up. Now, I have heard a couple of stories, one from a couple of First Nations elders around here who went hunting just a couple of years ago around a lake. They were hunting for black bear. They saw two standing up on their hind legs, or they thought were black bear. They raised their rifle to it, and then the one said to my friend Eddie, as he dropped his rifle, said, "We got to get out of here now." Because when he scoped them in from 200 yards away, he realized that it was two Dogman creatures and not black bears. So they are in this area. But it's weird. Sasquatch in the west, Dogman in the east, highway right in between. Very, very weird. And that highway runs along the Gold Rush Trail, which is where all the paranormal stuff happens. It's weird. Very weird. Science Bob, I have a question for you. I'm going to put you on the spot here for once, because it's my party and I can cry if I want to. Okay? But my biggest bone to pick with you throughout the years, and for people who don't know, Bob and I only met in 2020. And he had started listening to this show a few months previous and then gave me crap on Twitter for keeping him up awake at night. But when we met, it was like we'd known each other our entire lives. And I've said a bunch of things to him over the years that he didn't particularly believe me on, but they've all come true. Well, the majority of them. Oh, now, yeah. Science Bob, I'm going to hit you up there. This is going to sound real egotistical here. Real egotistical. But it's my birthday, and for once I'm going to be that way. In the UFO world, and let's just keep it to UFOs, in everything that I've said is going to happen, how wrong have I been?
I can't think of anything you've said wrong, Dave. I think all of your predictions have almost completely come true.
What was the one that convinced you that said, holy cow, I think I better pay more attention?
Ooh. Oh, that's tough, Dave. It's tough. I could tell you and the audience of the incident that had me most convinced of your and my interaction with whatever this phenomenon is.
Sure.
So you call me in the morning like you usually do, and you say, Bob, I had a weird dream. And maybe it wasn't a dream. I dreamt that you and I had been taken, we were on a craft together with a bunch of other people. And I went, really? And we went on our chat and talked. So anyway, we finish, and I tell Science Sharon what the story is. And while I'm thinking about it and telling her, she says, there was a rustling around in the house. And I got up and checked out the noise because it sounded like somebody was walking around. Okay. So I went, really? So I then said, well, if I had been taken, I know my watch, my Fitbit, really good Fitbit, slick thing right here. It takes counts of my heartbeat, my blood pressure, my sleep time, all sorts of things. So I pulled up the app. I opened the day's report, and I looked at the sleep time. And I don't have any memory of what Dave was telling me, but the Fitbit says that I was awake and walking around, and the GPS is tracking for over 90 minutes around or absolutely on top of the time Dave says we were taken together on a craft. So that was like, wow. And then I see this triangular shape of orbs in my front yard on my video camera. Can we play videos?
We can play videos.
Okay, so let me see if I can dig it up and we'll play it. Okay, but anyway, and it's just the stuff just keeps coming. Then I'm having these whatever they are, little UFOs that come down and go beneath the tree. So I thought at first these were blinking lights of an airplane, but then I realized we don't have blinking lights of an airplane that are beneath the trees and are illuminating the leaves and limbs above it when they blink. And it's blink, 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 regular pulse. Dave, you've made an interesting time of my life.
Well, you know what? And it's funny, too, because Bob was always very hyped on people, especially younger generations that were coming into the field and being exciting. And I was always the kind of guy who would say, hey, Bob, hold off on this one. You may want to just hold off here. And
so right.
One ended up being a fake scientist. One ended up screwing over SOR by posting our product on his monetized YouTube channel. I mean, it's been quite a ride. And I don't say that to sound cocky, but this is where I always tell people in this field, read between the lines. It's very, very important. Like with Lou Elizondo or anybody else, read between the lines. That is where the story goes. And there is the Dirty Fylth art regarding it. Of you and me being taken at the same time there.
Oh, yeah.
The Dirty Fylth, he captures everything. Absolutely captures
brilliantly.
Everything.
Brilliantly.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Let's go to Kara's question here. Dave, do you have a spirit animal you are most connected with? Yes, I do. It is a mountain lion. And when that mountain lion has a mess, I've only seen it a couple of times, but when that mountain lion has a message for me, he is in my face. His nose is within 2 inches of my nose. And those golden eyes are staring right into my eyes, and there is no blinking. There is no blinking at all. And it freaks me out. Absolutely freaks me out. Let's go to Raz. Are unknown pregnancies the government mentioned trying to throw the public for a loop? I think it was done for a test to see how the public would react to what they are studying. That's what I think it is.
We have all sorts of friends. Let's just mention one who has publicly stated, two of them. Geraldine Orozco is a regular on this show. Melinda Leslie's a friend of ours and appears regularly. Both of them have had multiple abductions where they were impregnated and had the fetuses taken from them before they came to term. And Geraldine says it's many. Look, this stuff, you just can't ignore this stuff. It's too many women have this stuff happen to them. Guys have stuff happen to them, but it's not, to me, as traumatic as being impregnated with a baby and it being taken. So I think that that what is going on in that DIRD document is MUFON and other people's research is being described. It's being described. I don't think the DIRD has claims that it's true. It's the statistics of what has been described. And it's put in a DIRD to provide the groundwork for future research. Okay, so I don't believe it's a claim that they believe it. I believe it's a preparation to do further research. But there's thousands and thousands and thousands of women who are reporting these abductions and these hybrid experiment pregnancies.
And not only that, they got their statistics and from MUFON.
Yeah, I believe that.
And
because Tom Whitmore told us that.
And we've recently learned that Dave McDonald has had 3 or more meetings. Dave McDonald, the executive director of MUFON, has had 3 or more meetings in government, private meetings with government officials regarding UFOs and MUFON statistics. The government is now watching MUFON, not to steal their stats, but asking MUFON, what do you got for us? What do we need to know that we're not being told by the military? Because if the military isn't telling them, there's only really a couple of organizations out there, Peter Davenport's New Fork or MUFON, that are out there that can really break this out. Bob, what do you think?
I think that was so. Look, you and I in the background, and we're not pulling any punches here. When we talk to Tom, we've tell him, look, what's the deal? You know, MUFON has all this stuff. I mean, besides Cheryl and her UFO statistics books, what is the data being used for? This is the first time we have really good evidence that it's being utilized with a purpose. Because, look, the people in Congress, they know the military's feeding them a line of crap. You should hear the background talk or talk to one of them that you are familiar with or friends with because you support them. They will listen to you if you send them money and support them, and they will actually interact with you. Okay, so they're PO'd. They believe they got a snow job on the last week, and they're determined to get more. And MUFON is part and parcel of gathering data that this problem is so freaking huge, so massive, that there's no dang way the government fails to have more than 144 stories. They've got thousands and thousands, and they've got them in their records because they got those records. They got those records with OSAP.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. All right, let's go to Luscious Jewels. Dave, have you experienced poltergeist-like activity or apports? No, I never have.
But
and to be honest, I want to.
Be careful what you wish for.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I have to say.
All I want to see, like my drinking glass here go right across the frame. Now, we have had interesting stuff happen during this show. When we were a long time ago on Periscope, which was for Twitter, there was actually a white orb that was flying right in front of our cameras.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't see it, but the camera had caught it. And my Canadian flag covers up a window. You could actually see an orb going through the flag like somebody was behind it with a flashlight. So that was kind of cool.
So let me add. So after I visited Chris Bledsoe, I returned home, and I was deciding whether or not to continue some kind of personal and or professional work with Chris. So I was dithering because it was, this stuff is, you're trying to decide whether you're going to go all in on it or not. Well, I began to have an apport inside our home of water, like right out of the middle of the air. Water would fling at you like it was squirted from a squirt pistol. And it was not a little bit, it was a lot. So it happened a couple of times, and I called in Science Sharon and say, do you see water on my leg? She says, not only water on your leg, it's all around you. It's like, is the ceiling leaking? I went, no, we just had it fixed. But I called up the ceiling repairman and complained. I says, I think the ceiling is leaking. And he says, why? I says, water came in yesterday. And he says, dude, think about it. We haven't had a drop of rain here in over 2 weeks. Your ceiling is completely dry, even if it has a leak. So it kept on going until I picked up the phone, called Chris Bledsoe, told him I was going to work with him and commit, and the apport stopped. Stuff is weird, Dave.
Very weird. Very, very weird. Let's get to another question here. And this one comes from, where is it here? From Jeff Steve Garvey. Hi, Jeff. Dave, what is your favorite alien? Do you think Skinny Bob is the cutest? Skinny Bob. Who wouldn't give Skinny Bob a big hug? But you know what? I honestly want to see two beings. I want to see a mantid.
Yep.
And I want to see a humanoid. Like one of them beautiful Pleiadians that you just drool over.
That live out in Nevada.
Yeah. Is it Nevada or Sweden?
Oh no! It's right near Nellis, right outside of Las Vegas. There's this kind of desolate area, and they are hanging out there for whatever reason. And you've got this guy in Las Vegas that's constantly taking videos. Steve, what's his name? Of these things flying in. It's just stuff is so strange, and there's no way those craft are flying over Nellis and the Air Force not know it. They're lying.
Cable Guy Matt makes a comment in the chat room. I've been here for 45 minutes. Dude, I'm 45 minutes behind in the chat room right now. So I'm moving on up. Let's go to Laura here, who is asking, Dave, what haunted location would you most like to visit? Would you sleep there and investigate? The question is, second part is yes. I don't fear ghosts. I think ghosts are pretty easy to deal with for the most part. I don't have a favorite location, but what I do have is a favorite subject. And that favorite subject is this. I think television has missed the boat big time on this, because every small town and mid-sized town and even big city has their own legends and has their own story, whether it's monsters like Sasquatch or the Goat Man or Little People or Dog Man or aliens or haunted buildings. And the best stories come from those small little towns in the middle of nowhere, in the mountains of Washington State, or along the farming lands of Nebraska, or the wilderness of British Columbia where I am. And I think that I would, if I had my dream, if I had an unlimited budget to do this, like if I won like the lottery here next week, or this Friday is like $70 million. If I were to win that $70 million, I could tell you right now, Dave's buying a motorhome with internet, of course, so that way we can do the show. And Dave is going from small town to small town to small town to film these stories that nobody talks about anymore, except those in that community. And we could talk about Waverly Hills or Gettysburg or Alcatraz all we want. I don't care if I ever hear another insane asylum haunting on this show ever. I really don't care. And this is where the paranormal went stagnant, as far as I'm concerned. Nobody is doing anything different. And the stories of these small communities, these bedroom communities that are growing, those ones that are still stuck in the 1950s, 60s with the same old gas pumps that they used in the 1970s. Okay, those are the towns where I want to go through, and I want to be the dude who brings those monsters and those hauntings and those stories to life. That's what I want to do. How about you, Bree?
I've been to Alcatraz on a night tour when I was a teenager before, but I would like to stay at, I know, big surprise, the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast. I'm not related, just I have the last name, and I want to do a bad dad joke and say, can I get a last name discount, and see their reaction. Joke around like that. But that would be on my bucket list, or the Stanley Hotel to stay at, to like investigate.
Especially
How about you,
Stephen King's The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Science Bob, as we got 3 minutes to go?
So I've done this and investigated the Avenel house in Bedford, Virginia. And we heard some stuff and felt some stuff. And we were investigating the room. We could hear these little whispers going on in the room, but it was just barely audible. And then it was about time for us to end the thing and go downstairs and have refreshments and hang out with folks. And we heard this group of people walking and talking out in the hall, and they were not being quiet. I went, damn, they're being rude. We're trying to do something here. So we just gave up and decided we would go downstairs and have the refreshments and hang out with the other group. And we went down and we complained about how loud they had been, that they disturbed our work. And they went, what are you talking about? We've been down here for 20 minutes. All the stomping and talking and stuff was the ghosties upstairs on the floor banging around outside our door. I mean, you just can't make a scrap up. You just got to stop denying the existence of the weird and open your mind and think about what it all might mean.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And that is something that is so important, is to pick up on those little signs and signals that many of us forget to pick up on, but I mean, wouldn't it just be awesome, Science Bob, when you come up here, we take a tour through some of these small coddled towns that are hidden in between the mountain passes, and just go talk to the regulars. You go to Lytton, British Columbia. Now, or pardon me, not Lytton, Yale, British Columbia. There's a couple things that Yale is famous for. And Bob, when you come up here this summer, you will end up going through Yale, depending on the way you come up here. Yale is known for a few things. Number one, home to author W.P. Kinsella.
Mm-hmm.
People may know him for a book called The Legend of Shoeless Joe, which led to the movie Field of Dreams.
Yep.
But number two, Yale was the end of the Fraser River where you could get boats to before the rapids started within the Fraser Canyon. And every Gold Rush member had to go on a paddle wheeler, and the Fraser River actually had more paddle wheelers than the Mississippi River at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then people would buy a horse and buggies. It was a violent little starting town to go start your trek through the trails of the Fraser Canyon, which are much like the Rockies, except with trees. Or pardon me, the Grand Canyon. That's what I was thinking of, except with trees. And there's a lot of hauntings, there's a lot of death, and there's a lot of Sasquatch around there. A lot of Sasquatch, including the legend of Jacko, the child Sasquatch. that was allegedly taken by Barnum and Bailey and never seen or heard of again. Hour 3 of Spaced Out Radio, the birthday show. We're going to introduce the Swamp Dweller. We're going to continue with Science Bob and Bree and Dirty Fylth. Super Duke's going to join us as well right after this. This is fun. This is fun.
I'm out of drawing juice, Dave.
You're what?
I'm out of drawing juice. If I draw any more, it's gonna be sloppy.
Well, then just hang out with us, Dirty Fylth. You're allowed.
Yeah.
Hey, Grumpy.
Aw,
Oh, my whiskey breath.
kitty.
Look at that. Maybe I should get a picture or something to go over here. Hold on a second. Grump.
Kitty face.
Oh no. Well,
Are you
that's
okay?
nice. Let's keep your bad luck.
You okay there, bud?
Speaking about weird things, I don't know what you guys can see this, but this was a drawing I did. Had this dream. I always have really vivid dreams, everything. It's whatever. But I used to do appliance repair and work at an appliance place, and had this dream that I was working at Science Bob and Dave's new and used rockets and appliances, and Brandon Fugel came in. And he goes, "Oh, I'm buying a new stove or whatever." It was a gas stove, and I always like gas stoves. And so, anyways, I was like, "Geez, does it need to get repaired?" And Science Bob's like, "No, he's just buying a new one." And so, yeah, they're like, high pressure sales me into buying a used gas stove. So this is a drawing I did of it. When did I draw that? February 14th last year. Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
Nothing says loving like a brand new oven.
Well, if you want to get break that down, that is pregnancy, fertility, or the future.
I just like gas stoves. I like cooking, so
You're like, I just like gas.
it just cooks so much better than. And I got at my house, I got a crappy glass top stove. I just swear at the thing all the time.
Oh, I've never.
I
Oh,
just hate
okay.
cleaning them, the
Yeah.
flat top. I hate
Yeah.
cleaning
I was thinking actual just clear glass. I was like, what? But no, I know what you're.
It sucks if you break that glass. Your feet.
Yeah, that.
Science Bob, did you hear the story of this drawing?
I just missed. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I
was checking on Science Sharon. Her fever has broken and she's not coughing.
Excellent. I like to hear that.
Me too, buddy.
1 sec. So anyways, I had this dream because I used to do I used to do repairs on appliances and junk, and I worked at an appliance place for a long time. And so I had this dream that I woke up and I went to work because I was an appliance repair guy at Science Bob and Dave's new and used rockets and appliances. And Brandon Fugel came in and he was buying. I thought he brought his old stove and it was a gas stove. And I was like, "Oh, does he need it fixed or whatever?" You and Dave are like, "No, he's just buying a new stove." And you're like, "You should buy this one. It's a beauty." And so yeah, it doesn't come with aliens and it's not cursed. But I did end up buying the stove in my dream anyway, so it worked out at the end.
There you go.
Very cool.
So how's everybody night going?
So far, so good.
I do have to say quickly here that I'm so excited that my daughter is listening tonight.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And we've actually, there's Super Duke. Come on, show us the hair, Duke.
Super Duke.
Super Duke.
Super Duke.
Hey guys, happy birthday, Dave.
Thanks, buddy. How you doing?
Hanging in there. I went through hell trying to pull up those files because this newer computer doesn't recognize whatever antique form they're in.
Yeah.
Thank you, gorgeous Jessica S., for the birthday wishes and the birthday wishes from everybody else. But yeah, I'm very happy that my daughter is tuned in tonight. I don't know if she tunes in or not often. I really don't. She never, but she's texting me all these stories. And she's the one who used to be real connected. Like when we first moved up here, she was very, very connected to the fairies. And the fairies would actually keep her up at night because they were so bright in her room flying around. And when she would go out into the green belt behind our yard or in our backyard, she would go meditate, and the fairies would come in and they would land on her. And she was very connected there for a while with them. So we have about 10 seconds. Thank you to everybody who has hit up the super chat tonight for the birthday show. Very much appreciate your love and support of Spaced Out Radio. Brazelhoff, how you doing? Here we go.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. And we really do appreciate earning your listening ears wherever you are on this beautiful planet we call Earth. Hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, Odyssey Radio, and KPNL. All of our archives are free. Join us at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor. Hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Husbandize. Husbandize is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot, reading Shirky Poo's Newswire. Check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. Let's head to the swamp. Our resident swamp dweller has another spooky story for you to listen to.
Hi, Spaced Out Radio listeners. This is Swamp Dweller. It's time for your nightly dose of spookiness on the show. If you have an interesting encounter or a spooky story that you would like to share, be sure to submit them in at swampdweller.net. You can also find our YouTube channel at youtube.com/swampdwellerreads. Now, let's chill out, relax, and together, let's enter the swamp. Hi Swamp, I'm a big fan of the channel. I've wanted to write to you for a while now, but never sat down to do it until now. My name is Ben, and I'm a camera operator on a ghost hunting show in Nova Scotia, Canada. The story I will tell you took place a few months ago on my second day of the show. I've now signed for 2 more seasons, so yay, funny. But I'm very excited because it's a fun job, and we do actual ghost hunting and don't fake anything we capture. So, on my second day working, we were at an old military training camp at the main building where they held banquets, a very fancy-looking place. I can't remember the full story behind the building, but I'll do my best to explain it. Essentially, there was a husband and a wife who lived there decades ago. The husband had been having an affair with a woman, and the wife walked in on them. After seeing her husband cheating, she hung herself on the main stairway. There was a mural on the husband's wall of Poseidon, and the wife and mistress on the either side of him, and seashells. This was a very eerie room. The CCTV cameras around the building were highly sketchy, even with the lights on. So anyway, after we set up all the cameras, 2 other crew members and I grabbed our night vision cameras and started shooting the host. I will refer to the host as Kevin, Alex, and Harley. There was also a director with us named Pat. I oversaw filming Harley, so I followed her while she did her thing, and we went to the main stairs where the wife was supposedly said to have hung herself. She started asking questions like, "Is there anyone here?" and all the typical stuff like that. After a few minutes of questions, we remained quiet, and after a few seconds, we heard a woman crying. Harley looked at me and asked if I listened to that. I immediately started nodding like crazy without messing up the framing on my camera. Harley then called Alex over, who can do this channeling thing, where you let spirits use your energy to communicate, or something like that. Alex did her thing, told the spirit to use her body to communicate with us, and then sat down in silence with her eyes closed. After a few minutes, Alex started sliding down the wall to sit down with her eyes still closed. She then started rubbing her neck, and her feet began to sway, which I immediately connected to the wife, who hung herself where Alex was sitting. Harley also joined this and narrated a bit of it to the viewers at home, so they also knew what was happening. They then started muttering, suddenly sobbing and screaming, "Why would you do this?" Harley then called over Kevin, who came to assist in getting Alex back to reality. She was still screaming and crying, but after Harley and Kevin calmed her down, she told us what had happened. I relived what happened to my wife and saw her die. Only a few seconds after she said this, the banging started happening all over the building, and then directly behind me, which caused me to say a few censored words and fall to the ground while pointing the camera at the wall. After all the banging, the director came out of the room with all the monitors for the CCTV cameras and said we were going to wrap it up for the night because it was getting too crazy, and he was worried for our safety at that point. We were going to investigate the next day as well, so we left all the cameras set up in the building and went to our hotel. This was directly next door, so we didn't worry too much about leaving stuff in the building overnight. I was the lucky one who could see the building from my hotel room, which didn't make it easy to sleep. The next day wasn't as eventful, but I did have a very wholesome moment with the ghost of a chef in the kitchen. Chef doesn't like when you screw around with stuff in the kitchen, so keep that in mind. Since we were going to investigate the kitchen, I had to set up a CCTV camera. While there, I just started talking out loud to the chef, saying that soon there would be more people going around his kitchen and not to worry, though, because we're all sorts of good people and we don't mean any harm. After a short while, we entered the kitchen, and the host did their thing and started moving stuff around in the kitchen, knowing that he didn't like that. But unfortunately, nothing really happened. So after a bit more of filming, we took a break, and I took my camera and went alone to the kitchen to do some solo investigating, but also turned up nothing. However, I reset his kitchen back to normal after the host messed it up a bit. I had to wrap up all of our gear at the end of shooting, so I headed straight to the kitchen to get the CCTV camera. While packing it, I talked to the chef, asking him to show himself to me. If he was camera shy, there were no cameras rolling. Nothing. So I continued wrapping up the cable, but then saw something out of the corner of my eye. I turned my head to it and saw a black figure duck behind the fridge. I just smiled and said thank you. The owner of the building wants to have us back to investigate more, so hopefully we will be back next season, and I can see my ghost chef friend again. My apologies for any grammar errors, writing isn't my best skill. If people like the story, I can share others I've experienced on the show. Thanks for sharing, Swamp Dweller.
We love the Swamp Dweller around here. You should follow him at Swamp Dweller Reads on YouTube, because that's where all the spookiness happens. He's got thousands of stories. Swamp Dweller on YouTube. I listen to him every night before I go to bed. He's a good fan of this show. We love the Swamp Dweller around here. All right, let's introduce the man, the myth, and the Bigfoot legend. It's Super Duke for World Bigfoot Radio. cutting a rug there while he's hanging on out. But it's Super Duke at World Bigfoot Radio tonight, right here on Spaced Out Radio. How you doing, Super Duke?
Doing good, doing good. Good job of dancing along with the music there, Science Bob. You're right in step with all the other goofiness we're doing.
Good to see you, dude.
So, Dave, happy birthday again.
Thank you.
You're looking good for a man of your advanced age. You know, Jimmy Church announced you were 93. I think he got that wrong.
Well, he was off by a couple of years. You know, I don't have to color my hair yet. You know, but hey, I wish I had his dulcet tones. Love Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Actually, there's a good chance that Jimmy is actually going to be on our roundtable this week for our month end, where we are doing a major special. Science Bob will be there as well, regarding Lou Elizondo stepping away from the public eye. And is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? We're going to break it all down on the roundtable. It's going to be a great show.
I kind of hope Jimmy does that, especially since he had Sean on tonight.
Yeah, Sean Cahill, good friend of this show. Good friend of this show. And he also wished us a happy birthday on Jimmy's show. So that was kind of cool. Very cool. Thank you to Sean and Jimmy Church for the love that they showed. A little SOR here. The little brother that is growing to be nice and big. That's what we do. Super Duke, I got a question for you, because we do have a lot of audience questions here. How long is your spooky story for us? Because I know you're freaking me out tonight.
I've got 3. One of them's pretty decent length, but 2 of them are short. Stories from northern Alberta.
Well, feature them and let's go.
Let's go. Let's do it. Here we go.
Okay, well, first, before I do that, the public service announcement here. For all you people around the area in Pennsylvania, be extremely careful, be on the lookout. There's been not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 dogman sightings in the Poconos in the last week. One of them involved the dogman chasing a vehicle down the road and clawing the side of the car. No one has been attacked yet, but that's not to say it couldn't happen. So if you're in that area, be extra careful. So here we go with the Gugwe reports. Mountain House, Alberta. Location, near Rocky Mountain House, Alberta. Date, July 23rd, 2004. Time, early evening. Occurrence, vocalizations, and sighting on property. A man on a property west of the town of Rocky Mountain House reported that he began to hear roaring sounds in the forest that surrounded his property. He described them as the roar of a lion, but much, much louder. So loud that he not only heard them, but felt them as well. And of course, we've heard that before. At first, they seemed to be coming from a good distance away, but steadily became louder and louder as the maker of the sounds drew closer to his property. He said that the sounds both terrified and mesmerized him, kind of like he was having a nightmare. This made him even more fearful, as he had never experienced anything like this before. He said that he decided to go outside to see if he could spot the maker of the sounds, but before he did this, he armed himself with a rifle. He didn't specify what type or caliber it was. One thing he said is that the entire time he felt a lingering sense of dread and couldn't explain why. Once he was outside, he spotted a very large bipedal creature standing on just the other side of the barbed wire fence that separated his property from Crown, which is government land for those of us down here in the U.S. He estimated its height at 9.5 to 10 feet, but what really sent him into shock was the creature's face. His exact words were, quote, "It was like somebody cut off a bear's head and plunked it onto a giant ape thing's shoulders." I've always been open to the idea that Bigfoot existed, but I didn't think it looked like this. This wasn't normal. It felt like it didn't belong here or anywhere for that matter, unquote. He didn't even consider the idea of shooting it. In fact, he said that he almost forgot that the rifle was in his hands. After looking at it for a short time, 15 to 20 seconds, the creature made a, quote, grumbling, unquote, sound and crashed back into the forest. He heard the roaring vocalization twice more. Both seemed to come from a further distance away, showing him that the creature was moving away from his property. That was the end of the initial report. We emailed back and forth a few times, with me trying to get as many details as I could about the creature. Physical description is as follows. Again, 9.5 to 10 feet tall, hair color rust red, estimating the creature was at least 5 to 6 feet across at the shoulders. The head had a definite snout or muzzle. He saw teeth when the creature vocalized. He said that the teeth were those of a true predator. Other than that, there isn't anything else to mention. After 6 email exchanges, he decided that he didn't want to talk about it anymore. He only gave me his first name, which he said was Greg, then would not disclose any other personal details. I didn't push for anything else. I met him face to face one time at Crimson Lake Provincial Park. He didn't waver once in his report. His parting comment made me believe his report even more. When we were standing there talking, he looked at his watch and said, quote, "The sun is going to start setting soon. We should get out of here," unquote. "I'll try and get more reports to you soon." And he did. Now here's a report he received via email on 9/12/98. The reporting witness gave his name as Gavin. He says, "When I first received the report, I was dubious as I knew nothing about the Gugwe creature at this time. The report goes as follows, quote, "Hi, my name is Gavin. I live outside of Fort McMurray on a small acreage. About 2 weeks ago, I heard screaming sounds outside. I opened the back door to see if I could spot anything. On a hill behind the barn, I saw a thing that I thought was a Bigfoot, but it didn't look like Bigfoot are supposed to look like. It looked like a monster from Rawhead Rex, a horror movie. It stalked out of sight, still making its horrible sounds. My dog seemed to be paralyzed for the rest of the night with fear." And that was it. He says, "I searched the movie Rawhead Rex. The creature does somewhat resemble the images of a Gugwe I've seen online." And he sends the picture from Rawhead Rex. And then we have one final report. Report number 3. This one gave me the chills when I read it many years back. This shows outright maliciousness on the part of the creature. Location, outside Fort Nelson, British Columbia. Date, early August 1990. Reported 5/12/2001. Witness Stan Yeardley, 47, at time of reporting. The witness said that his 2 German shepherds began barking crazily one day while he was outside working on an old dirt bike. Normally, he would simply tell him to shut up, but he said that he had never heard them bark like this before. He knew that something was off. He began to walk towards the rear of his property, then thought twice about it. He went inside, grabbed his deer rifle, no caliber was mentioned, and then proceeded towards the area where his dogs were penned up. When he arrived, he could both see and hear something large crunching through the trees and bushes surrounding his property. Thinking from the size that it was a large bull moose, he yelled at it to get lost and fired his rifle into the air one time. Whatever it was stopped moving and growled. He said that when it growled, both dogs stopped barking like someone had unplugged them, and they remained unnaturally silent. He said that he felt the growl like someone hit him with a wet wool blanket. He was now both confused and afraid. He knew that was not a bull moose, and it wasn't a bear. It wasn't a person. He immediately retreated into the house. He tried to get the dogs to go with him, but they would not move. He was awoken that night by the sound of his dogs yelping and screaming outside. He armed himself, hit the switch for the sodium lights in the yard, and ran outside onto his raised balcony. Once outside, he saw a gigantic, quote, 2-legged baboon, unquote, walking toward the woods, carrying one of his dogs. The other was still inside the pen area. He shot at the creature 3 times before it disappeared into the woods. He was not sure if he had hit it or not. He went outside to check on his remaining dog. It was alive and uninjured, but totally unresponsive. He carried her inside. He called his brother once again. Within an hour, he arrived at his home. His brother said that in the morning they would go out and look for the missing dog, but that they were going nowhere in the dark. In the morning, they armed up and stepped out the front door to begin their search. They spent the day searching the area and found nothing. Upon their return home, they found the head of the missing dog on the front porch of the home. It wasn't there when they left in the morning. His brother told him that this means that whatever killed his dog was intelligent and may have even been in the area when they were leaving earlier in the morning. His brother stayed for the rest of the week, but nothing further occurred. His remaining dog seemed to snap out of it a few days later, but was never the same animal that she had been before. He said that the, quote, 2-legged baboon, unquote, turned its upper body towards him as he threw open the balcony door. He said that its features momentarily stopped him dead in his tracks. It had an enormous muscular body, but the face is what got him. It had a long snout or muzzle with pointed teeth, which had bared at him when they made eye contact. He said that the eyes reflected yellow-green in the light from the sodium halogen lights. His first thought was, quote, "I'm looking at a monster. What the hell is this thing?" unquote. Then he saw that it was carrying his limp dog in one hand, just like he would carry a shopping bag. He estimated the creature was between 10 to 12 feet tall. Its coloring was midnight black. It crossed his yard 70 to 80 feet in 7 or 8 steps. He also said that the creature seemed to exude a feeling of dread, at least to him. 3 clear footprints were found in the back area of the yard. These measured 19 inches long by 10 inches wide, and they were sunk about 2 inches deep into the semi-dry ground. The distance between prints was estimated at 6.5 to 7 feet. He sent me a scan of a 110 photograph of one of these prints. I'll go through and see if I can find it and send it to you. After this encounter, he had bars installed all over his windows, replaced the sliding glass balcony doors with solid oak swinging doors, and installed motion sensor lights around the house and in the yard. And he says, and that's the most detailed report I have on this ugly creature from my area. The fact that it brought the dog's head back and put it where they would find it proves these things have a malicious intelligence. I communicated back and forth with Stan several times. Last communication was in the early winter of 2003, and that is the most detailed report that I have of this creature. The fact that it brought the dog's head back and put it where they would find it proves these things have malicious intelligence. And that is it for his 3 Gugly reports.
That is incredible. And you know what the worst part about it is? I know each of those areas, man. I know each of those areas. But the Fort St. John one, that is actually where I actually got my first BC report of Dogman.
Creepy. I wonder if it was a dog man or if it was one of those things and they just didn't get a good enough look.
Let me add to it. Up there in Fort St. John, I happen to be talking to a couple of First Nations people who are from up there, and they have stories of 4 to 6 foot tall green men that run around the forests.
Oh, that's what the little green men are too. Yeah, the other thing I should mention about this, the 3 reports he sent me, is that he had been doing Bigfoot research in northern Alberta for about 30 years. And, you know, had tons and tons and tons of reports and investigations under his belt. And he kept getting these weird oddball reports from this one, you know, like relatively small area going, what the heck is going on here? Does everybody need, you know, like eye surgery or something? Because they keep reporting things that are kind of like Bigfoot, but they're not Bigfoot. What are they seeing? And then he ran across Gugly reports and description and went, oh my God, that's what they've been trying to report to me for 30 years. And I've been going, I don't know what they're talking about, and just kind of ignoring the reports. So then he contacted me and went, hey, I need to send you some of those reports that I've been collecting. And so there's 3 of them.
Yeah, I forgot to turn the on-air sign on tonight, so I apologize. So what do you think there, Science Bob? We got some interesting stuff that we got to cover.
Those are really interesting stories. I love to hear Duke tell them. And, you know, between Politis and Duke and a bunch of other similar people like Jessica Jones and her group out in Georgia, there's just so much evidence about Bigfoot and other cryptids. We just got to wake up and smell the roses, dude. Hey, listen, before I forget it, I found the video. Do you mind if I share it?
When we come back from the break,
great.
We will
it's all queued up and ready to go. I want people to see this triangular orbs out in my front yard.
Cool.
Yeah, this is just amazing footage. Amazing footage of Science Bob getting a small triangle in his yard. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. Super Duke, I know you're sticking around, but tell everybody 20 seconds where they can find you.
World Bigfoot Radio on YouTube, Brighteon, Odyssey, BitChute, and Rumble. And I also have a group, World Bigfoot Central on MeWe, and World Bigfoot Radio and Montana Bigfoot Project on Facebook.
That's why we love you, Super Duke. You always know how to just make the time. right there. You know how to make the time. Final half hour of the birthday show on Spaced Out Radio continues right after this. We appreciate it. Super Duke sticking around. Science Bob is here. Dirty Fylth is somewhere. Thin Lizzie's hanging out and she's having fun. Spaced Out Radio continues right after this. Thank you, Excalibur, for that awesome super chat. Same as Thomas. Very much appreciated, guys. Really enjoying the love tonight. Thank you very, very much. And Science Bob, do you know how to share the video?
I've already got it queued up. All I got to do is hit open.
Okay, so what you want to do is on your bottom, you want to hit share.
Yeah, I've already done it. I'm ready when you're ready.
Okay, you can put it in there, and then I can add it when we get to it on the show.
There you go.
Oh, there it is. Perfect. So remember, for our radio audience, we'll have to explain it.
Oh, I'm happy to do it. I'm going to tell them the story and how I know it's not bugs.
Lightning bugs.
It was not bugs.
I like those ones that have a tether in between them and they stay exactly the same distance.
Oh, no.
Lightning
You are about to see it, my friend Duke. Tethered together in a triangle.
Yeah, that's what we get with Bigfoot eyeshine a lot. Oh, it's just lightning bugs. Yeah, they're just tethered together and moving around.
Oh, yeah. Just wait till you see it. Tethered together in a triangle, and I'll tell the whole story. This video is freaking awesome. I love it. But what happened around it is at least as awesome.
That's super cool.
I'm done with my doubting days. They're gone.
Thank you, Triple Ack, for that amazing super chat. I know I'm probably missing some out there tonight, but thank you to Big Dog, Science Bob, Patrick, Mennonite Abe, Swamp Dweller, Donnie, ×2, Bigfoot Rob, Fapster, Nicholas, JP, Kara, Tits McGee, Donnie again, Steve, and Moon Freedom, Jessica, Enzo, Hallmark, Thomas, Excalibur, and Triple Ack. Really appreciate the love. If I accidentally missed your super chat, please forgive me. The chat room has been absolutely nuts tonight. And, Dry Toast. Somehow I missed yours. Where the hell is yours? Oh, right there. Dry Toast. See? This Dry Toast, one of the best names on YouTube. Right there.
Mm-hmm.
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 Yep.
We're getting slapped silly in the morning.
By Dry Toast?
No, by being late. I'm drinking a little. Hey, there's Grantavius.
Oh, hold up. Let me pause this real quick. At least my mic. You will never believe what I just.
He's emotional.
Oh, I ran home.
Uh-oh.
Yep. So I went across the honestly, I left the show just for a couple minutes. I did the watch 2 minutes, and I had a couple conversations with my wife, and then I was out smoking a cigarette, and my neighbor's like, "Hey, I gotta talk to you." And I was like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Listen, you know where Wampler Ranch is?" And I was like, "Yeah." Holy shit. So,
we're off air.
Okay. Thank God. So, I'm not going to say his name just for he doesn't want to be announced. And I asked him 100%, can I share this? And he's like, I don't want my name being said. And and I was like, all right, cool. This dude
You got 1 minute, dude. You got 1 minute.
Sasquatch. He met Sasquatch.
Wow.
Tonight?
No, but it was recently here at Wampler Ranch in Southern Oregon on Highway 140 in the swamps. There's reeds they're like 5.5 feet tall, and they could hear him right above or right in front of them. And they kept stopping because they're like, why is there so much noise in front of us? And all of a sudden they came to the clearing. So their tracks in the swamp was, just misshapen and all that stuff. And then they came to the tracks. And he's like, I know for a fact whatever was in front of us was bipedal, because you could see the footprints, but we couldn't take any kind of pictures of it because it's underwater, because there's about 1.5 feet of water. And he just told me the whole story, and I'm sitting. I was supposed to go to the restroom, and I've been literally standing there for an hour listening to this guy, and he is freaked out about what they just came across.
Well, hold on, buddy. You got to wait till a little bit later here. Finish this up. Here we go, guys. Final half hour. Round to third, we're heading for home tonight on the birthday show. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I very much appreciate all of you joining me on my special 49th birthday. Want to remind you that if you missed most of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read Shirky Poo's Newswire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on TikTok at Spaced Out Radio. And we bring in Science Bob, Grant Baker, Dirty Fylth, Thin Lizzy, Super Duke from World Bigfoot Radio for the final half hour of the birthday show. Everyone, welcome back, and thank you so much for making this such a special night for me.
Happy birthday, Dave.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's from the heart. From the heart. Now, Science Bob, earlier in the show, you talked about having a video of a triangle hovering in your yard.
Let me tell just a little bit of the narrative. Okay,
please.
So I'm sitting in my chair in my living room. Sharon and I are watching some crap on TV, and all of a sudden, and my blink cameras catch wildlife around my house because I live in the friggin' wildlife jungle. Okay, so it kept going bing bing, and so I was ignoring it. But all of a sudden, the hair all over my body just stood up on end, and I could feel whatever it was right over my right shoulder, right out my window. And so there's a blink camera right on my front porch. So I click on the blink camera, and it does 10-second snaps. So there is this triangle of orbs moving around up and down. I went, hell, I can do a longer video. So I go over to that camera, I focus on it, and I hit go. And I see that it's going to record at least a minute. So I'm running out the side of the house, down by the carport, trying to sneak around the corner to catch what we are about to see. And I will finish the story after we watch it.
All right. So for our radio listeners, you're going to have to explain what we're seeing here.
Okay. So we're seeing a triangle of orbs in my front yard. They are illuminated because they are emitting light. This is not a reflection of any IR or anything. And you can see these little elongations on these orbs, and they're hovering in a triangle. One of them is a kind of amorphous. So anyway, so once you see this triangle and it's just moving around, wavering, tilting, all this other stuff, and this crap happens around my house like all the time now. Okay, as I leave my chair, running out through the carport, I go around the corner. And I turn around the corner, and the video inside comes to an end. And I turn around the corner. This is not IR light. How do I know that? Because I see the 3 orbs with my naked eye. And as soon as I saw them with my naked eye, I knew they were not IR light being reflected off of bugs. And as soon as I made a move towards them, boom, they take off, go straight up in the sky at about 1 billion miles an hour. This was not bugs.
Wow. Bob, that bottom one, I'm not gonna lie, it looks like a fairy.
Whatever it is. Whatever it is. All I know is a triangle, solid triangle of orbs that was there for a while before I realized I could record for a minute, and then I tried to go find them. And Grant Tavius wants to say something. What's up, Grant?
Oh, I want to say something. So just for the people that can't see this, for the people that are listening on podcasts or whatever, we are looking at a video that has what looks like to be a light on a porch. And so you're seeing a video that's looking past this light into the dark sky, and you see these 3 objects move around, and they're kind of haphazardly moving around. But then what I noticed was there's a single solitary streak of light, and this isn't a streak of light.
Oh yeah.
And then about 10 seconds later, I see another one just shoot across the frame. So I don't know how to explain it. I've seen moths shoot across the flame. It's real blurry. These were very sharp images.
Oh, yeah, these are orbs, speckle orbs.
Exactly. This is a really, really, really good shot of the movement of not only the 3 orbs you see, but 2 passerbys as well. Oh, this is amazing, man. I'm so glad you found this, or you captured it.
I captured it, and this is the first time it has ever been shared public in honor of Dave's birthday.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We have another special guest here. Yes, we do. There he is, people. Merle is here.
Merle.
Merle.
Happy birthday, Dave.
What's
up, Merle?
Merle.
Thought I'd come say happy birthday to the Dave Scott and see how everyone's doing.
Well, we're doing great. We just did you see that video that Bob just showed?
I did. I was watching that. That was pretty interesting.
It was very interesting. Very interesting. Bob, that video still blows me away, man. Still blows me away.
I'm serious, brother. I'm telling you. Look, I've just not been showing, but in honor of your birthday, let's let it out there. Let her rip. Anybody wants a copy, you can have it.
That's strong.
That's the way it needs to be done. Nice and strong right there from Science Bob. But it really goes to show that the phenomena in general really seems to be attached to everything. I mean, Duke, your Gugway stories, I mean, it spurred some goosebumps on me tonight. Bob, your UFO story. Merle, who's always merling about, all night. Little Davey Altman in the chat room, hanging on out. It's weird. It's weird. Do we have permission to put that on our TikTok, Bob?
Go for it. Go for it.
There you go, Thin Lizzy.
It's available. Let her rip.
Yeah, in my official unscientific opinion, those are not lightning bugs.
No. No, because I saw them with my own eyes, and my eyes aren't IR sensitive.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I used to live over in Ohio, and I've seen lightning bugs many, many, many times. They're beautiful at the night, but they're ugly during the day, and that was not.
Okay, so the spot of light you see on the ground, that is the IR LED, and you can see all of the orbs are equally illuminated. 2 are further away, but the LED light is focused on the ground. It's not aimed up at the ones that are as bright as the other ones. No, this is not reflection off. These things are emitting light. How do I know? When I went around the corner, I saw them emitting light with my own eyes. And people just saw a bug fly through the screen. That was a bug. But you could tell these are not bugs, and there's other bugs that are flying through the screen.
Right.
I mean, you get, and some of these things that streak they're weird. But the things that's weirdest to me
look-
are these three orbs in a triangle.
Hey,
But
well,
you
look at
look
it this
how
way.
you look how they are moving together.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
They are not moving on their own. I mean, yes, they'll shift and everything, but it's almost like they're tethered together, moving as a triangle.
You can almost see like just the beginning of like the the shape of it all coming
yeah.
together.
It's so weird.
Is that a
Well,
dog
as
bed
Bob
RV
mentioned, the
in the
one on the
background?
top is sort of amorphous and keeps shifting for him too.
I
Yep.
agree with that. I agree
Yep.
with that. And what the interesting thing is you can still see your porch light, and this is a static video. This is not a camera that's moving, and everything is moving within the frames. Yes, you can see bugs, and I see that now that you said it. But realistically, these lights should not exist in a bug form. They don't. Bugs do not move this way.
No, what the nice contrast is you see bugs. You
Yeah.
see how they're illuminated. These are
Exactly.
not illuminated like those bugs.
Doesn't move like it either.
Exactly.
Not at all.
Bugs
Not at
don't
all.
move like that.
I'm going to tell you right now. I've played many of times with lightning bugs, or whatever you want to call them. This is definitely not how they move. Like, no, and all of these three objects that you're watching right here are moving in synchronicity. Even though they're moving around, and sometimes they get closer together, but when they move, how would I say this? Northeasterly and southwesterly, they're moving in tandem.
Yeah.
And that shows a synchronicity between the three objects that we're seeing. And that, oh man, that is awesome. That's a good video.
I've got more. This crap that happens around me now. I'm going F it. I'm done hiding this crap. I'm just going to show it from now on.
Let it all hang out, Bob.
Put it out there.
Damn right.
In the wind.
Amen.
When in
So,
doubt,
just one more exactly. So one more story. So I called Dave one day, and my doorbell showing my carport, and the sun is 90-degree angle away from where the doorbell camera is pointing, and I see a ray of light come down and hit the cars and trucks on the carport, and I'm going, that ain't coming from the sun. It's coming from the wrong direction. And all of a sudden, the entire sky looks black dark because the sun has been blocked out by whatever object bigger than my friggin' house flew over the house. I mean, this stuff is weird. Thank you, Dave, for making my life interesting. Happy birthday.
Blame me. When in doubt, blame me for everything that is woo in your life now.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything more you want to throw on my shoulders? I mean,
yes, let me see what I can do for you.
we've had alien encounters, we've had predictions, we've had, triangles.
Two years ago, Dave told me that I was going to have a role inside the SOR entity. And I went, I'm too busy for that. And guess what? Nicole and I have a role in the SOR entity. And he was exactly right. And I thought it would never happen. And even though I knew it was happening, I was resistant. Here I am.
Linda wants to know, Bob, how long did the orbs stay around?
Oh, it was, but look, believe me, I was too dumb to think quickly because I was dumbfounded. There are about 9 or 10 of these little 10-second snippets before I remembered that I can click record and record the camera. And so I clicked it on. I knew it would run for a minute, and I ran outside to see if I could see them with my own eyes. I saw that I could see them with my own eyes, and that was all they were waiting on, was for me to come outside and look. And when I looked and saw them with my own eyes, they were not IR illuminated. They were glowing on their own. They took off straight up so fast, I couldn't have blinked my eyes and seen them move.
So was this a single ship? I got into the party late, so I didn't hear the first part.
I look. All I know is these three lights
Mhm.
acted like they were triangularly bound, and they took off straight up together in tandem, straight
Dave-
up. I
Dave
mean, like
knows.
way fast.
Dave
Hey,
knows
Merle.
I don't talk about UFOs much, but I saw that exact same thing in Oregon at Wolf Creek Inn. And I
Merle.
think
There you go, Merle. You're the man. Let's hang it out there for Dave's birthday. This stuff is weird.
Yeah, it is weird. And I'm Merle. I'm literally within 2.5 hours of Wolf Creek. I know exactly where you're at, my man.
Mhm.
And right now I'm in Klamath Falls, Oregon. I'm going to say a shout out, but nobody's listening on this channel but me. But realistically, these things are amazing. This is a really good video because you have a point of reference. That's all you need is the point of reference. You have a static light. It looks like a porch light of some sort, and then you see these objects moving within that light. Now, I'll tell you something about cars that drive by.
Okay, the porch light is off. The illumination is the IR LED from the blink camera.
Exactly. And the thing is with this, if you see a car go by, what it does, if a car comes from, now I'm going to go from right to left, opposite of the book, what you're going to see is the lights start from the left to the right because of the fisheye lens. That's just how it works.
Yep.
But anyways, this is just, it's amazing. That's a awesome video. Thank you so much. Oh man, I'm glad you shared that. I'm so happy.
It took me over a year to screw up the courage in honor of Dave's birthday. Bada bing.
Well, you know, Dave is he's not a captain anymore. He is literally a 10-star general. He's the king.
He's the king.
And that sexy damn hair of his.
Oh yeah. He's a beautiful bum, but he's the king.
Yeah, if I look as good as he does in 7 years, I'll be okay. I'll be lucky. Oh, look at that. Look at him flip that beautiful hair. You see that?
There you go.
Don't forget, Dave, you have a radio audience. They can't see you flipping your silver mane.
I know, but you know what? I'm getting a cut soon.
What?
Yeah, I've made the choice that I'm going to get like an inch or two cut off.
I almost posted a photo of us together in 2015 when you had short hair like mine for your birthday.
I don't
almost
believe it. Don't believe it.
Where is it on your phone?
Yep.
So I saw you with short hair because I finally figured out how to find Jolene. I saw a picture of you and Jolene together where you had short hair. It was about 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago. I'm going to see here if I can find a photo.
Inch isn't that much.
No,
That's a trim.
He's got to cut off his split ends.
I did hair for over a decade, so an inch is like 2 months growth.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm just trying to see if I have any photos of me with short hair. I don't.
Go look at Jolene. Go look at Jolene's.
Yeah, but I'm not going to bring that up though.
Okay, of course you're not. Yeah, I get it. I understand.
Yeah, I'm not going
she doesn't want to be on air. I get it.
Hey, Duke. Real quick.
Yeah.
I need to talk to you about what my neighbor just told me. I literally was just going to go to the restroom, go out and take a couple drags, and my neighbor just hemmed me up. And you would be mighty interested in the story he just told me. It was captivating at most. And
well, now that you brought it to our radio audience, you got to tell the story.
Yeah,
so
we got 6 minutes. Burn it up.
I know, 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2
So,
minutes and 30 seconds.
Literally, they're at Wampler Ranch, or just past Wampler Ranch, which is down here in Southern Oregon off of 140. If you go to Odessa, anybody that wants to look it up, go ahead and look it up. There's an Odessa store. That's where they were at, and they were going through the bogs that are right there. The water's about a foot, maybe foot and a half deep. I mean, if this is 6 inches, it's 10 feet deep. But anyway, so here's the deal. They kept hearing somebody in front of them, and there was my neighbor and one of his friends that were going out and going to go hunt or whatever, or fish, and they kept hearing the noise. They would stop, and it would stop. At one point, it kept going, and then they finally found the tracks. And because it's waterlogged, they can't get any kind of impressions or anything else. But their tracks, when they're walking as normal human beings, they're just making kind of this haphazardly track through the marsh. This thing was massive, and it was making a 3-foot wide swath, through the marsh. And they knew this thing was within 150 feet. Oh, look at that. That's a beautiful picture.
That's David Merle right there, buddy. David Merle right there.
Hey, Dave, incoming.
All right. Go ahead, Greg.
Oh, and I would love Duke to talk to this guy, because they're just coming out with these stories, because I moved here. They're not, I moved here in December. So just now, tonight, they finally opened up, and I'm like, you see what I'm saying, dude? I'm telling you, it's like, I didn't know if that was a real or whatnot. And I'm like, dude, we're in the area. You need to talk to Super Duke.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a report from Oregon in at least a week. Definitely put him in touch with me.
I'll do that. I'll get him in touch with you.
David Merle there. Gentlemen, lady, I want to say a big thank you for coming on the big show tonight. Merle, for showing up late. But nonetheless, a little bit of Merle.
I showed up, Dave. Happy birthday, buddy.
Hey, John, when did you show up?
A couple minutes ago. Yeah. Happy birthday. Yep.
You missed the first 178 minutes, but that's okay.
Yeah. Hanging out with my little one. She's got a cold. So,
I don't blame you. I don't
dad thing. So yeah.
What a great team on SOR. Our ghost hunter Merle, our Sasquatch hunter Duke, Science Bob, Thin Lizzy from After Hours and the TikTok, John from the Unbiased UFO Report, and After Hours with Grant, and Dirty Fylth, our artist extraordinaire, hanging on out on the birthday show. It turns into just a wonderful, wonderful birthday. And thank you especially to all the listeners tuning on in and making this night so perfect. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot rocking in the background with Little Brother is watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone in our chat rooms tonight, YouTube, Twitch, LGAP, Facebook, Space Travelers Club, and on Twitter, #SpacedOutRadio.
I know you're out there somewhere.
Remember, this show is copyrighted by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends,
we're watching.
We own the night, Mr. Bumblefoot. We need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, we do. The Woo Train has docked for the night. But soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for them too. Good night. We are clear, people.
Hey, Super Duke, you need to calm down, my man.
Yeah, I'm just hyper as all get out.
Dave, do you have
Happy
multiple
birthday, Dave.
camera angles?
I now have 2 camera angles.
He does.
I redid the entire Merle. I redid the entire studio.
Looks good. Your
Yeah.
camera's
It's
crystal
his
clear.
big boy studio now.
It's beautiful from both angles.
You know how it was before, Merle?
Yep.
I turned it 90 degrees. So behind me now is the window with the flag on it. So when you come up and if you're here hanging on out to do interviews, like I got the microphone right there. I've got the lights set up. Who?
Is that feng shui?
What is feng shui?
The joke about the layout. No. It cracks me up when people get really hung up on that. So it's just the way you were describing it. It's made me laugh.
It does sound like you got a little feng shui going on.
Yeah, it did. It did sound feng shui-ish.
You're feng shui.
No. He doesn't even know what
Faces
feng shui is. He
You're
doesn't know
feng
what
shui.
feng shui is.
Yeah. So what?
What
So
is
what?
feng swing?
Better than
It's
bad.
an
Did
orientation
you say feng
concept
swing?
with a house where things have to be oriented towards certain
Feng shui.
directions, meaning
F
certain
what?
things. And I mean, I've talked to people who have like realtors who have like lost like huge house deals over these things, right? Like people take this
Some
stuff very
people
seriously.
really, yeah, it's
They
For some
live
people,
their
it's a
life
complete deal
by it.
breaker.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Live
they're
their life
people.
by it.
Yep.
Bad
And
fear.
let's be honest. With everything that, especially for those of us like you and me, Bob, who came into this maybe a little later, for all we've learned, right now we know. Now you go and look at their feng shui thing, and you think, wait, so how does this intent thing really work? Oh no, it's like, and darkness comes,
Bad interior decorating leads to blocking dragon currents, so it's bad juju. You curse yourself with poor layout of your interior property.
Really?
Give me one
Bad
second,
feng
guys.
shui.
I gotta go get some vodka.
I figured it was like a nature like
When Dave drops me off, I'm gonna go get some Tennessee sour mash and go to sleep.
For a while, I actually tried drinking absinthe.
Look at you guys.
Absinthe is not the easiest thing to drink.
Oh man, when I lived in the UK,
I love it.
Drank so much of it.
Oh, I like it.
Oh
I
my
like
lord,
it.
I love it.
But
I'd already be dead if I was an alcoholic.
But I have to admit, I've never gotten it in some of the more original countries. So, it's interesting. You go into some of these places like a Beverages and More, and you think it's very material focused, and it is for the most part. But a lot of them have these crazy wide selections where you will find like 1 or 2 boutique vendors that actually go through the effort to hand make stuff the right way. And it's once in a while. It's a weird thing, but it's once in a while you will find stuff. It's trippy.
Like a mixologist?
No, I mean just like you go to like a Beverages and More or a place like that has a lot of like bulk liquor, and then you'll go look at their, like, for example, you ask, do you have absinthe, thinking they won't, and you'll find that they have just 3, but one of them is actually like something decent. It's like, whoa, like how'd that happen?
Yeah, there's this Czech absinthe, and Pernod is very fine, and you don't find it at every place. You find junk, but you occasionally find the good stuff, and I love absinthe.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. Let's talk about absinthe just a little bit. It is the sneakiest of devils.
Oh my God, yes! You pour it over that sugar cube, and all of a sudden you got hit with a sledgehammer.
They say something about like a green fairy.
Oh yeah,
it's something.
Not only that, if you get drunk enough, you hallucinate.
Oh, okay. So
you add to this that there was a time period where, so I don't know if you guys have maybe read the well, you know what? It's not going to matter because I can't remember the title or the person who wrote it. But anyway, there is this mystical, magical book that talks about the concoctions that were found in Christian rituals going into barrels and so forth, and looking at these kind of exotic elixirs and so forth. And if you look at that lineage through Europe and where those things grew, there's definitely a time period where absinthe may have included lots of other things.
Oh yeah,
and
not just wormwood.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Which in itself, as you say, you can hallucinate.
Oh, wormwood will cause
this
you to
stuff
hallucinate.
Has some magical,
Mhm.
has some wonderful properties. That's the cool thing, is that the honest, true stuff does actually have a pretty interesting effect on you.
Let me
But
ask you-
then if you got something that back then that also had, whatever the Christians were drinking, things got good.
Well, I mean, this stuff was made by monks in
Yes, it was.
monasteries.
It was.
Yep.
You're correct.
Yep.
The good stuff turns a milky color when you add water to it. That's how you
Oh
can
yeah,
tell
it's
if you
called
got-
luching.
Yep.
It luches with just
Right.
the right amount of water in it.
I got some
Bob, what is the
milky color
lucian?
shit
Is that
for you.
is that like a process?
So you take water and stuff that's in suspension in the absinthe all of a sudden separates from the suspension and becomes a solid, and it's milky white.
Check it out. We'll take some questions as well.
I bet you on YouTube somewhere. There's a film of that in 100 frames per second slow motion that I can go watch. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I have the sugar cube, the silver spoons, the same glasses that Vincent van Gogh drank out of, and I love my absinthe.
I'm gonna
that's the
tell you.
the ritual, some of it. But what were you gonna say, Grant?
Oh, I was going to tell you one quick thing about absinthe. So I've tried all the ones that were legal in the United States. Excuse me. Excuse me. Anyways, I've tried every single batch of absinthe that was legal in the United States. And I understand that some of the ones I tried were illegal in European countries and other places. I've done the dripping of the absinthe on top of the sugar cube in the glass. And there's one thing that I have in common with, I'm just guessing that I've tried 12 different types of absinthe.
Yeah.
The one thing I have in common with them all is the effect of them. You feel like you're okay until you're not.
Mm-hmm. It's like a hammer.
It is literally the hammer of God.
Oh yeah.
And it is so slow to come on. You'll drink it and you'll be like, oh, I'm fine.
It's the magic 8-ball of liquor.
Oh my gosh, it's more than magic 8-ball. It's like literally 45 minutes later after you drink it, and then all of a sudden you're like, this is not affecting me. I'm just gonna go home. And then you stop at a store somewhere, and then you're just like, oh crap.
But that's why the ritual and who you did the ritual with and the setting of the ritual meant so much, because there was this unpredictability nature to it. And so you wanted to be able to at least, if not guide, nudge that probability in one direction or another, if you could, to help create an environment that would foster creativity or whatever it is you're going for,
And I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to absinthe, I have literally waxed philosophical
and poetic
Yeah, exactly. More so on anything else I've ever tried in my life. And absinthe it is an alcohol that it's seriously a mind altering substance.
Yep.
You cannot, like, if you want to go out and drink your scotch, your bourbon, your vodka, or whatever the hell, excuse my language, but you can drink all of that, and it's just going to get you drunk. Absinthe is a whole different nature. It is when
there's a reason. There's a reason all the great artists in Europe, and all the great writers in Europe, and all the great expatriates that came from the United States and everywhere into Europe drink absinthe. There's a reason.
A quick side note, I had a history professor once that didn't have his PhD because his thesis was wrapped around the fact that he felt that every major decision in the U.S. government had been made over alcohol. And
fuck yeah.
and this thing was so sad because he had so much data and it didn't matter because like no one was going to take it seriously. But he was a great storyteller. I did find the name of the book real quick. It's called The Immortality Key by Brian Murkowski.
I know that.
Really, not only an interesting topic, but at least in my opinion, a well written book. It's fun to read. Like it's a good story, you know. And it opens up some very basically what it really suggests is that it suggests that in a way there was kind of a bait and a switch that happened, in that essentially in the early days of Christianity it was cool. Like you'd show up, you'd get like you know like a little of talk, and then you'd take something like you drink it, and then you get like 15 minutes of like forget all the bad stuff, and then you're done and you feel like a lot better, and you leave and you go, this is great, this religion stuff is awesome. And this went on for a long time, and then they started mixing it badly and people started dying, and then they started outlawing it all, but then people still had to go to the ceremonies for the stuff changed, and then people didn't get the experience anymore and they didn't know why, and then things went boom. It's very interesting.
Hey Merle,
yeah.
What do you think about my Oilers taking a 3-1 series lead tonight?
I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to Calgary. Yep. They'll lose. They always do.
We're taking the Stanley Cup.
It's good because now it's set up for them to lose in their home arena in Game 7.
Hey, Merle, what?
Set on fire.
How did you sneak in my house and get my hat?
It's my hat. My hat. Do you have one of these?
I like that hat.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you know what? It reminds me of reverse Banksy. If anybody knew who's Banksy is, that's what that reminds me of.
Oh, Banksy is one of the great artists that paints murals all over the place of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There are people that have literally taken jackhammers, removed plaster from a wall to collect a Banksy.
No fucking way.
Oh yeah, the guy's amazing.
Well, you know what? I like literally it dawned on me just now when I said that. I was like, I'd be that guy. I'd be that guy. I'm not going to shit you.
He somehow snuck into Baghdad while the war was going on.
Yes.
And did murals. He damn sure did.
Yep.
I love that dude. He's a fucking badass.
Well,
he is really for real.
Well, that also means that he had some very, very good friends on the ground.
Oh yeah, because he could not have gotten there without them.
No, that's cool. Actually, when you really think about the type of the places where things would have to be tripped for that to happen, it's actually an even cooler story because you start to realize that there really had to have been some involvement. That's cool. That's actually really neat. Yep. Build that to the propaganda department, you know? That's awesome.
The implications of him being in Baghdad are amazing.
Yeah.
Given that I've been all over that part of the world, in and around all of that, in and out of it, doing whatever I did, Banksy had connections.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's cool.
Dude, I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm good.
What? You fucking pussy.
I'm a effing pussy.
Hey, you are
Bob,
what you're.
Bob, just quick question before you run off, just because it made me think of it.
Yeah.
Were you ever in? And once again, I feel so bad because I always wear a mess by a question. But were you ever in any part of Iraq before the war? Did you see it before, like what it looked like before? Did you get to see any of that?
All of it.
Oh.
Well, I was before Gulf War inside. I was inside after Gulf War. I was in Kuwait when I watched them turn the road from Kuwait City to Basra into glass with 100,000 people on it. Oh yeah, dude. I have lived a life.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's that, but there's also, I mean, everyone likes to throw the shade on it, but there was a beauty to Baghdad before, right? There was I mean, there was as well, but like, you know,
no. Before Saddam Hussein, Iraq was one of the most well-educated, westernized, Arab countries in the world where they had liberal philosophy. They were brilliant scientists, brilliant mathematicians. All of a sudden, Saddam comes in and he wrecks all of that to hell and back.
So okay, okay, good. So I want to make sure my understanding of it was
the same was true in Iran. The same was true in Iran.
Yes,
same was true. Iranians were the most educated, well-rounded, westernized people in the Middle East.
Yes. So last thing I'll say, so you can go to bed, is the only reason why I got lucky on that front is that I ended up growing up with one of my best friends growing up, Safa, and his family came here, in '79 as a result of and so getting to not only like go over there and eat food with his family, but listen to them play music and their poetry and their books, and like they really, like if you asked, they were really kind about offering you as much of their culture as you wanted to absorb. And
if you ever want to read one of the great poets in the history of man, you want to read the Persian Sufi mystic Rumi. Rumi is one of the great poets in the history of man, and he was a Sufi mystic, he was a Sufi Islamist, Sufi Muslim, but they instituted all sorts of things that have dramatically impacted Western science. Rumi writes the greatest love poetry that has ever been written.
What's Rumi's first name?
Rubidin, something like Rumi. Rumi. But if you just do Rumi, you will find it.
Yeah, he's got a whole meme world to himself.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah. All right. Good night. I've got to go.
Hey, night, Bob.
Great science, Bob.
Happy birthday, brother. Happy birthday.
Friday night, eh?
Okay. Have a good night, everybody.
Oh, Dirty Phil.
Dirty Phil.
Dirty Phil, everybody. All right.
And then there were 6.
Damn it, dude. Hold up. Let me text that motherfucker.
Duke, I've been trying to figure out for a while why the image of you, like there's something about it always makes me smile, and I just finally figured out what it is. It reminds me of that show Home Improvement with that neighbor over the fence, where like you only saw like his eyes, like that's what it reminds me of. It's kind of
Wilson.
Awesome.
Super Duke is Wilson.
Yeah.
I'm a combination of him and Bender the robot from Futurama because I have the same glowing eyes as Bender.
There you go. Boy, wouldn't that be a compliment?
Duke, I'm going to show you something here. Hold on. This is from Joe Monk, captured 6 minutes ago. Let me just get to the photo here.
I'm going to get going.
All right, fine.
Happy birthday.
Night, Bree.
Oh,
Good night, Bree.
I'll be in the chat.
Gary, okay?
Huh?
Good night.
Much love to you and Gary.
Yes. Happy birthday. Happy day you popped out of your mama's womb. That's what I say.
Her life.
Hey, Bree, tell Gary that me and him have to get together with those goddamn hot rods. He needs to see mine. I need to see his.
Yeah, he'll show you his if you show him yours.
Good answer.
Okay, I'll see you guys. Bye.
Right. Have a good night.
So here you go, Duke. This is where we need your professionalism here. Okay, so here's the dog cage for little Lola, the security guard Rottweiler. Which, by the way, this is an updated photo of Lola tonight.
Ultra terrifying.
That is so adorable.
Yeah, you know what? I think she poses for us.
Looks like
I really do.
Oh my god!
I've had dogs that have posed. I've had dogs that didn't like having their photo taken. I've had both.
Okay,
I've had dogs that got annoyed when they got their pictures taken.
Joe picked up the eyes here.
Okay.
Oh my goodness!
And
but isn't that crazy? Think about how few pixels are actually involved in what we're looking at. The distance, how small they are. I looked at those two objects, and the first thing I thought, for some reason that I can't explain, was
ghost.
That's natural. Like that looks like that. And I'm not saying I'm not wrong. I could be totally wrong, but I'm just amazed at how quickly, with such few data, other than you saying their eyes, right? But it's really
The one thing that I'm noticing about these eyes, Duke, is they're oval. And now, according to Joe, those eyes, he'd heard some rumbling in the bushes, and those eyes are about 8 to 10 feet up.
How far away, though?
Good question.
We'll wait for Joe in the chat room.
Yeah, because the thing is that it'd be great to find out, based on that height, what the distance is between those eyes, and find if it really is proportional. Because there won't be an exact number, but there should be a range of what should be considered proportional. Once you know the angle by knowing the distance. It's really very frustrating, a lack of data that cameras actually capture when you really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You really got to fix that.
Merle, what do you think?
I'd have to see more. I'd have to know the story more of what's going on.
Yeah, and that's a single picture, no video?
It's just the one picture?
All I got.
Yeah, okay.
Pictures. Hold on. I think Joe might be messaging me here. No. It's everybody else.
Because, I mean, it would also be nice, like, if you had, like, even if it's a sequence of pictures, if you saw the lights turning on and off at some normal cadence, you might be able to assume, eye changes or even shutter.
I'm going to show you guys a daytime camera view. Hold on.
So this would be the same camera.
Yeah.
So Joe lives in the Sierra Nevadas. Lots of Bigfoot activity in there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the daytime view.
Mm-hmm.
There's the.
Feel it too. Oh, okay. All right.
No.
Wait, go back.
That's probably standing right.
Oh my goodness.
No. Move your mouse to the left a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah.
Left.
Yeah,
Right there. Stop.
Yeah. But you know what's really
Do
interesting?
it again.
Dave?
Switch. Can you switch without moving? Oh, no. You can't.
Move the mouse to where the eyes
All
are.
right,
And
hold
switch
up.
to the other view.
Hold up. Move your mouse. Okay, I'm going to hover my mouse over it. Hold on.
Dave, that means that whatever
Okay,
that
go ahead.
was not
Switch.
undercover.
Same exact spot where my mouse was.
Creeping right
hold
up.
No, hold up.
But I mean, it. What I'm saying is that it was aware that the light was shading it, because it wasn't going from tree to tree or from bush to bush. It was actually walking in essentially an open field.
Okay, Dave, are you able to, if
Why
I
would
send
it
you
do
a
that?
picture off my phone, can you put it on the screen?
Looks to me like it was in the field.
So I'm not moving.
But Duke, is it normal for them to be in just in the open like that with no protection?
So
I mean, they seem very exposed.
Sure, it's nighttime. We can't see anything at night.
Well,
You
here's
know
the
that.
deal. So
Fair.
realistically, you see that little bump of grass where the cursor is right now?
Yeah, agreed. No. That could be quick cover.
Go over. No, that's not where it's at. Go right there. Stop.
Mm-hmm.
Up. A little bit up.
Yeah,
No, down.
Down a little bit. That
To the right. Boom.
Right about
You're
there.
right over my cursor. Yeah. I put my cursor on the eyes of the beast. If you can
there's a little ridge
think,
right there.
Yeah, you see how it's sloping down?
Yes.
Like that has to be taller.
It is. Okay.
That is
so
interesting.
my cursor, where you just left, my cursor is on the left eye. As you're looking at it, it's the right eye, but it's the left eye of the beast, and that thing has to be at least 3 feet tall.
Dave, if you don't know how to, if you can't do it, I'll do it for you if you want to send me 2 pictures. But someone should cut out those eyes and put them on the daytime picture with some extra glow to them in the right location, so you can see it on the daylight picture.
If Joe in the chat room says that he gives me permission to send them to you, I will do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing fancy. I mean, anyone can do it. It's just it'd be good to actually see them on this, so you're not having to toggle back and forth. Or you could do an animated GIF of the two of them and just go back and forth really fast.
Joe, does it move around on the video, or is it just stationary?
That's a good question.
Waiting for the chat room here.
I wish there was some. I mean, and Dave, probably Duke, you guys might know that there is. Just I'm assuming that there isn't. But is there any way? Is there any type of contraption you can build where you could put it out with food in it, and only a Bigfoot could get to it?
All right, hold up.
No
hold
other
up,
creature could get to it.
Stop. Go back to the last picture.
Man, I don't know. That'd be pretty tough. There probably would be some way to do that, John.
Go. Oh, fuck. Shit.
That'd be
Hold
an
on.
interesting device.
Hold on. I got to take a picture of this. Hold on. God damn it.
I mean, you probably couldn't exclude bears.
That's the problem. Raccoons are
You probably have to
incredibly
say
adept at
bears
getting
and
into things too.
But yeah, well,
And the other problem
probably
is
require-
Bigfoot are not trusting, and they know if you've got some kind of an
Next
object
picture.
they don't recognize set up, they're not going to go mess around with it.
But what if it's fun?
Next picture.
It doesn't matter. Self-preservation.
Next picture. Next
Batman.
picture.
Yeah, but they're not getting harmed by it. They're actually getting stuff by it. I just want to know that the stuff was taken by them and not something else. You know what I mean?
You could lighten that up and possibly see an outline in Photoshop
True.
or Lightroom.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Wait. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. I can do that.
You draw contrast on that, and you'll get a lot more.
I know somebody that had a game cam trap set up where they put food out in this little clearing, and they had 4 game cameras, all of which were at different angles, focused on the same position where the food was. They were about 20 feet up in the tree. So the next day they came back and checked. Food was gone. Yay, we got pictures. Nope. All 4 cameras didn't work.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. So search images with Google Lens doesn't come with nothing.
I love that. That doesn't happen very often, but I love it.
That does not happen very often.
It really makes me happy when that happens.
Yeah,
I'm like, I actually have something special.
This, and that's a proof. This is something special. So let me, Dave, can you?
Although you can't just check that, you also have to check like Pinterest.
I did.
And okay.
Yep. And the thing is what it
Pinterest is a weird black hole of stuff.
You know what it actually focused on was that little white bottle behind the gate, behind the little fence area. And so when you focus behind that bottle or on that bottle, and you look out and it's actually sloping, this thing's pretty big. But if I can get, give me a second. That's not going to work either. Damn it. Google, I love and hate you at the same time.
You guys have all seen the tool that they have where you hold up your camera and it automatically translates any language that you see automatically on your phone.
It's pretty neat.
Hold on.
It made me think of it like that. To me, like that type of technology still blows my mind. It's been around forever. And we'll get to the point. Actually, there is actually already someone finally released a universal translator, and I believe it does natural language. It does a fixed number of languages, though, but it will basically translate, pretty much any to any. I think of like the top 64 languages or something.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but realistically, I mean, what's the purpose of this? Besides for global, I mean, but outside of global usage, I mean, it's just going to.
Well, the thing is that to me, what I'm talking about is you consider the progress we're making with dolphins, right? I would just love to get to the point where we can start translating some of the language that we might be getting from these creatures.
Well, I mean, the thing with dolphins is their communication skills are well beyond ours because that's all they have. We have other skills that we have developed over time.
Hey,
So
dolphins can do a lot of expression with their bodies. Don't be cruel.
they can. They do this and they do that, which is a
You
swim
can move your
forward.
flippers around and stuff, like,
Exactly,
you
right?
smile.
And well, I wouldn't say smile because they don't have any the facial features. But the thing is dolphins have very limited muscular motions, but they have very advanced when it comes to
cognitive.
Not even I mean, they're smart, they have big brains, but when it comes to vocabulary, their vocabulary is well advanced.
Well, that's exactly
actually
what
more than ours.
Well, that's one of the things that
But
they're trying to figure out. Is it and I don't remember how far along they are, but it really looks like dolphins will be the first animal we actually communicate with. And I'm not talking about a short period of time. I'm talking about probably less than 5 years.
No, we're already about 30%. I think if you look at it, I actually just heard something yesterday about it. It's 30% that we figured out. They in the 30% we figured out was the fact that they can how they call it monotonal. I don't know. Anyways, the deal is when they make a click, there's 5 different avenues they can go with that click. The next click, it's like 20, and they take these different routes with it. So if you do you know what I mean? It says,
Well, just
hey,
imagine if you could shape your sound waves.
They can see with their clicks. They echolocate just like bats do with them.
And that's the reason why they think that we can, or not we can, but dolphins can actually read through people and know their intent. And that's when they're either going to be like, oh,
if
hey,
they're
you're
close
cool.
enough to you, they can map the inside of your body with their sonar.
Exactly.
I spent probably about 20 minutes in the water with one, and did things like like hugged it, and then it would do things like swim away and then swim back to you like crazy fast and stop with braking power that you've never freaking seen. Mind-boggling. There's no sliding in the water, right? And the thing was, but the point I'm trying to get at is that when you're like usually like they'll have you hug it for like the picture and so forth, and so you really do get close to these creatures. And the thing I found interesting was that I was expecting to sense something significantly beyond any other animal that I'd encountered. And I definitely sensed something, much smarter than normal. But me personally, and maybe my dolphin was a special bus kind of dolphin. But I was amazed how conscious the dolphin was.
So
the awareness was really outstanding, and incredibly friendly creatures when they want to be.
Well, you went from physics to when it comes to how they interact with the medium that they're in to how they act within. You know what I mean? So yes, it's astounding how dolphins can react with other creatures, including humans, and then their surrounding medium. Dolphins. How do I put this? If you take a human brain and measure it by weight and average it by the median, by the average weight of a human, and then you take a dolphin's brain and do the same thing, they're bigger.
Correct. However, there's now significant evidence that your wetware is not a limitation of your software. So,
one second, let me just line it up here for a second. Joe sent a video over.
Oh, which Joe?
Well, who sent the video with the pictures? So he says, sending the video, I think from where I walk up to where the eyes appear, then disappear out in the distance. There's 2 rocks. That's where it looks like the eyes were. That drops off into a gully. I walk out the dog walks around my feet. When I step over the cement, that's when the eyes appear. You can, and so let's load this up. Okay. We're also going to get a very nice picture of Joe's hair.
Hey, John, call me tomorrow.
So let's bring this in here. So there's Joe. There's the puppy.
Okay, I see it. I have my mouse covering the spot where about 20 degrees out, but to the right.
There's
there it is. I told you.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Hold on. I'm going to try and pause it.
That's exactly where my mouse was. Yeah, that's actually a big creature.
Yes.
And and based on the so
what the hell are they? 31, 32. There's the puppy.
But there were people out there very close to they're out there when it's out there.
Well, I mean,
that person on the
realistically,
left
though,
is actually close.
That's Joe.
Yeah, but realistically, I've been within 30 feet of a cougar, and I didn't even know it until my Ring camera caught it.
No, I'm not surprised he didn't see it. I'm a little surprised he wasn't eaten.
Well, if it's a cougar, they're not going to go after a full adult human. They'll go after little kids. But if there's someone that's...
That cougar would have to be... Hold on a second. That cougar would have to be standing... I mean, look at this photo again, guys. Joe is right here.
So
okay.
there's a little... and I did not move my cursor when you did this. There's a
Let me
little
explain.
green...
Other people are allowed to talk here, guys. Okay? Joe is right here. Joe is 6'2", 6'3". This is definitely going downward in a gully, and those eyes are right here where my mouse is. Okay? In that gully. So unless that doesn't look like cat's eyes. Cat's eyes are, well, whatever. It's in this area. But that's on a downward slope from where Joe is, and looking at that downward slope, that's at minimum 3 to 4 feet. Okay, so unless those are definitely not cat's eyes that we're seeing.
Well, at that distance, however far off the ground it is, that's a good size animal. Period.
Yes, I agree.
And the way the like, if you watch the eyes again,
hold on.
Okay, there's Joe at the top. There's the dog.
Okay, hold up. Wait, there it is. Right there. Done. Okay. I'm centered on the animal's eyes. And this is the same video recording. So watch this. I'm going to take a video of this. And Dave, I'm going to send it to you. So here's the video of where the eyes are located with all of us on TV. So go ahead and back out and then go to the exact same spot. Whoa.
Dude, that thing's 7 feet tall. 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Merle, what do you think?
Where does Joe live?
Assuming it was standing up straight.
Sierra Nevada is in the California, right along the California-Nevada border.
I'm going to send you guys the video I just took, and it went from the eyes.
Grant, Merle's speaking.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I was going to say, I don't know what it is, or a wolf.
I got a question for Joe. What's the object on the far right side of the screen in the center of it, right over by the edge?
Here?
On the lit up version. Go way over to the right side of the screen on the lit up version.
Hold on. Here?
No, right side.
Or there? Duke, where do you want me to go?
Far right of the screen, center.
Here.
What's the object that looks like a person or something over there in between the tree and the edge of the picture?
Oh, right. Oh. Wait.
Goodness, I wish I could zoom in on that.
Oh, I think it's just an oddly shaped tree.
That's a tree right here.
No, I'm
With,
not
like-
talking about way back there. I'm talking about foreground, right in the center on the far right.
Like the edge of the screen.
Right on the edge of the screen on the right.
Oh,
Here?
No, if you
No.
down on the other side of the
Middle
tree,
of the
right
screen,
on the very
Dave.
edge.
Go to the far right. Go over to the far right and then go down to the middle.
That
there.
That I think that's a rock, but it definitely looks like something.
It looks
sitting
very
down.
odd, whatever it is.
That looks like Paranormal.
Pretty good stuff. Hey Dave, I got a jet, but I just I want to make a quick side note. It just came out that the Air Force has just completed testing of their entirely new radar technology that moves to a system where now instead of having one radar array, each radar array is about the size of a hockey puck, and they're individually controlled, and there's like about 1,000 of them per platter. Anyway, my point is that this technology, if I'm reading it correctly, is going to change things a little bit, and it'll be interesting to track this because as this rolls out into the field, we might start to see new details emerge. It could actually be interesting. We're actually to a point now where defense news actually could have an impact on our research. Mind-boggling.
That's at least 7 feet.
That is cool, man. That's a great video, Joe. Good stuff. All right,
I
hey
might
Dave,
kinda
I
like
got a
that
jet,
up.
man.
All right,
Happy
John.
birthday. Happy birthday. I hope you had a magnificent day. The show was fantastic. Had a lot of fun listening to it. Sorry I couldn't hang out, but I wanted to at least hang out for a little while and say happy birthday. So I hope you had a great day, buddy. All
Talk
right,
to
hey,
you.
nice to see everyone else. Take it easy.
Hi,
Ciao.
John.
Me too, Dave. I'm hitting the dusty trail. We got to get up
All right,
early.
Merle.
All right. Good night, guys.
Merle, everybody. That's 7 feet, Duke.
Merle.
At least 7 feet.
Yeah, if we had an exact distance from the camera to where those eyes were, we'd have a lot better idea on how tall it is.
But the fact that this thing, okay, all of a sudden just goes poof, eyes open, knowing that Joe is right there. What's that? Probably 40 feet. That is just strange.
It is. If I could have sent you pictures of the before and after, it's
Well, you
wild.
can send them.
Looks like it's got a gully right there. It just turned its head and walked down the gully, and it's gone.
Exactly.
That is so weird. And Joe, and just so people know, with Joe, okay, he has bears, cougars, coyotes, deer walking up to his area right in here every night. Okay. He's also seen some strange things happening there. But once again, let's look at Lola. How gorgeous is she?
She's a cutie.
Oh, yeah. One more time. Because watch how Joe turns, looks right at it, right at that area. There comes the puppy. He turns, and there.
All right. So I have my cursor right between the eyes right now. So let me take a picture of that and send it to you. Come on. Here we go. So people can see it. It's my phone. Right between the eyes. Bam. Go ahead. Not touching nothing.
What do you want me to touch now?
Just go to the next frame. Light frame. Okay. There we go. Okay. I'm going to send that to you. And by the way, the white jug that's right there within the cage or just outside it is in the exact same spot. Number 1 coming to you, Dave. Number 2 coming right now. Did not move my cursor. Oh, you want me to send it via... Okay, hold on. I can do that too.
Yeah. Send it to Facebook Messenger.
You got it. Let me do something real quick.
I got my official Montana State cryptid hat on tonight in honor of Dave. Dave's birthday. As we all know, the official cryptid of the state south of me in Wyoming is a jackalope. And the official cryptid of the state of Montana is a chimera. That's a cross between a bear and a deer, and it's called beer. Oh, you think I'm kidding?
You're sending me a bunch of periods.
Yeah, I'm doing that so I can hide some stuff.
See that? There you go.
Come on, man. Wait, you ready? Here's the number 1, number 2, send. There we go.
Okay, so there's number 1. Where's number 2?
On the left eye. I did not move the cursor. Now watch that white bottle at the bottom of the screen.
All right. See, that's on the incline.
Yeah, I wouldn't make any guesstimates on how high it is off the ground. Although the distance away will tell you for sure that it's a good-sized creature, whatever it is, because the eyes are big enough and far enough apart.
No, let me say something real quick. So when it went to dark mode, when this camera went to dark mode, I did not move my cursor at all. And you see how small that little white 1-gallon jug is. And if you go back, it's much closer and then it's much further. So if you're looking at those same eyes, that means you're going to a 90-degree panoramic view when it's dark, and then you're going to an 87% or even less degree view when it's light time, or maybe even actually a 60%. So where my cursor is in the light time, now that I see it back and forth, it should be up another 2 centimeters. As for most people that are looking on 24-inch screen. Let me see.
Yeah, but all that means is that it could be a larger animal that's further back. That doesn't tell you how far off the ground it is.
It could be, because this is it's a descending hill. Like, it's either human size or bigger. I mean, at the median, you're looking at 6 feet tall. It's about 6 feet tall. I would guess 6 feet.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, look, it looks like there's kind of a bowl there, and it goes up toward the wood line.
I see that
So
too.
it could be a larger animal further back, actually lying on the ground. There's no way to guess where it is in relation to where the ground is under it, because you don't know exactly where it is.
Yeah, but the only animal that could sneak up like that would be a mountain lion. A bear would have been making noise.
Well, the thing about mountain lions is, if you've ever taken a picture of mountain lion eyes, they're way more green. Go back to the last picture.
You got wolves around there. There's another option.
Yep.
Wolves, coyotes, any kind of predator. It's got binocular vision. It's got its eyes set forward.
100% forward eyes.
Yeah.
Mountain lions are usually a typical, like, your spaced out radio green, and then the white, though, that was pure white. There are some canines that have that, but it's rare. I mean, and most cats are green as well. I've never seen bear eyes, so I don't have any opinion on that. I keep bear trees. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
I want to know what Bigfoot snacks that this person's Joe. What Bigfoot snacks are you actually carrying?
There's bear eyes at night.
It's the same thing. You're good. Good job.
Yeah.
Oh, even raccoon. You pulled up raccoon too, and they're white as well. Look at that. Some bear eyes are green, as the bear eyesight first top left.
Owls.
They got a headlight.
All right. Interesting night, nonetheless. Grant and Super Duke, thanks, boys, for a great night. Big thank you to all the super chatters out there. Tomorrow night on the show, Caroline Corey is going to join us. We're going to talk about A Tear in the Sky, the new documentary that she has produced. It's a good one. UFOs tomorrow night. We're going to get into it hard and heavy. Super Duke, Grant, thank you.
Happy birthday, brother.
Thank
Love
you. What a
that.
great birthday it was.
Night,
Appreciate
everybody.
you.
Happy birthday, Dave.
Much love to all our audience, and we'll see you all tomorrow.